Chapter 37. In Sanshui County, on the north side of the street near the east gate of the city, there was a shop with the words Mind House written on it. It was a little remote, so there were not many people coming in and out of the shop. The shopkeeper had gone somewhere to rest, so he was left alone at the counter, looking at the passers-by in boredom. When it was noon, the waiter could hear his stomach growling, but no one came to ask him to take his place. He could only continue to endure. From time to time, he would think about the wine and dishes in the restaurant. He felt even hungrier. Even the movement of the shadows of the trees outside slowed down. He put his 2 arms on the counter and rested his chin on it. He looked at the small soup and pancake restaurant across the street and muttered, "It's good to eat a bowl of soup and pancakes. I don't see 2 people in this shabby shop every day." Just as he was muttering to himself, 2 people came in from the door. The shop assistant immediately took off his arm and glanced at them. He concluded that these 2 were rich people. They were wearing silk robes, and there was a piece of jade hanging from a rope hanging from their waists. As they walked, they kept moving up and down. "Sirs, what are you looking for? I can give you some pointers." The shop assistant put on a smile and asked respectfully according to his judgment. "Go do your work. We'll just look around," one of them said, and threw a small piece of silver to the shop assistant. The shop assistant hurriedly caught it. After weighing it in his hand, he estimated its weight. It was definitely 3 taels of silver. He felt that his spirit had returned, and he wasn't hungry anymore. With 3 taels of silver, when he got off work in the evening, he would go to the Apricot Spring Brothel to have a good meal, find a beautiful sister, and come straight back tomorrow morning. The 2 people just looked and did not talk. They walked around and suddenly stared at a painting. They looked at each other and nodded at the same time. The one who gave the money said, "What is this painting?" "Oh, sir, your eyes are so sharp. You can see the beauty of this painting at a glance. This painting was painted by a predecessor. It's a lotus flower in early spring. Look at the tip of the brush. It's hard but not broken, soft but not evil. With just a few strokes it's already." Okay, how much is this painting?" Without waiting for the waiter to finish, the man waved his hand impatiently, interrupted the introduction, and directly asked for the price. The shop assistant was sensible. Since the other party didn't want him to say anything, he didn't say anything. He looked at the painting and calculated how much it would cost. If the painting wasn't damaged at all, it would be possible to ask for 20 taels of silver. The problem was that there was a spot on the painting that was damaged by fire. In the upper right corner of the painting, there was a hole the size of a fingernail. It had been patched up by the craftsman with a special technique, but it could still be seen. For a moment, he didn't know how to ask for money. If he asked for more, he was afraid that the other party would leave. If he asked for less, he felt that the reward he could get was too little. The more he sold, the more he would get. Just as he was hesitating, a voice sounded from behind him. "Lu Wang, are you slacking off again? Didn't you see that we have an important guest? Why aren't you serving him?" Hearing the voice, Lu Wang was relieved. When the shopkeeper came out, he quickly turned around and said to the shopkeeper, "Uncle Zhao, these 2 people took a fancy to the painting on the wall and asked for the price." "I forgot." While the shop assistant was speaking, he blinked his eyes. In fact, shopkeeper Zhao didn't need the shop assistant to hint at him. He could tell that the 2 people were rich from their clothes. He looked at the painting and said with a smile, "How should I address you?" "Li." The person who spoke first replied with 1 word, and didn't say anything else. "So it's young Master Li. You really have good taste to take a fancy to this painting. By right this, how much?" Young Master Li didn't wait for shopkeeper Zhao to finish his sentence, and directly asked for the price. 200 taels of silver. This painting was painted by a famous artist in the West Jin Dynasty. After a long time, it was not well maintained, and there are some flaws on the painting. Therefore, it only costs 150 taels of silver. Shopkeeper Zhao didn't know how much he should ask for. He wanted to ask for a sky-high price and wait for the other party to bargain. He wasn't afraid that the other party wouldn't buy it if he asked for too much, but he was afraid that the other party wouldn't like it if he asked for too little. There were always people like that. 150 taels of silver? Okay, I'll take it. Young Masterly didn't bargain at all and directly agreed. Shopkeeper Zhao was stunned and felt a little regretful for Wei Wei. If he had known that these two people were so easy to talk to, he would have asked for more. But now he couldn't back out. When he was about to take the painting and wrap it up, young Masterly spoke again. Don't be in a hurry. We didn't bring enough money today. We only have 50 taels of silver. Let's settle the payment first and come back in a few days. Is that okay? Shopkeeper Zhao heard this and quickly nodded. It made sense. Who would carry so much money when they went out? It was so heavy. He wouldn't be afraid if he had 50 taels of silver. I heard that some shops will secretly replace the goods after people pay the deposit. I wonder if... Young Masterly asked again. Shopkeeper Zhao knew that he was worried, so he immediately said, Don't worry, young Masterly. Our shop will never do such a thing. If you are still worried, you can find someone from Jiehui to vouch for you. But it will cost more to find someone to vouch for you. It's okay. Go find someone. Young Masterly spoke. Shopkeeper Zhao was even more relieved. He was really worried that in a few days, the two people would find someone who knew the business and ask for the money back. Even if they didn't get the money back, there would be some dispute. He urged Lu Wang to find someone from Jiehui and prepare tea and snacks. After a while, Lu Wang came back with Jiehui's guarantor. The guarantor asked for the price and asked for 150 taels of silver. Young Masterly paid without hesitation. He took the painting down and wrote down some of the unique features on it as proof. Young Masterly deliberately wrote down the burned part of the painting with thin paper and added some description of the surrounding burn marks. He said that he would come back in half a month. If it wasn't this painting, the shop would pay 10 taels of silver. If he didn't come back in half a month, young Masterly would pay an extra 100 taels of silver every night. If he didn't come back in a month, he would give the shop a deposit. Shopkeeper Zhao thought for a while and saw that Jiehui's guarantor was there. He nodded and agreed. Both parties signed the contract and the deal was done. Seeing the two people walking away, not only was Shopkeeper Zhao happy, but Lu Wang also received 5 taels of silver. The sun was setting and the red clouds filled the sky. Birds flew past, their white feathers fluttering in the wind. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan walked hand in hand beside the small river in front of the door. The sun shone on their shadows. Xiao Hong watched nervously, afraid that the two little ancestors would jump down in joy. This kind of thing could happen. After all, her little master was different from others. Xiaobao, do you think we can raise some ducks and geese if we draw the water into a dug pond? Salted goose eggs and duck eggs are more delicious than salted eggs. Wang Wan stood beside the river, looking at the clear water and the fish that occasionally flashed under the water. She asked with longing, Yes, I also want to do that, but now we are short of manpower. The most important thing is that I don't have enough money. I have to start running the recent business. If I want to eat, I have to go to Zhuangzi first. After a few days, I will have money after I deal with Liar Song. Zhang Xiaobao had this plan a few days ago. He wanted to ask his mother for money. After hesitating for a while, he decided to earn it himself. He didn't mind waiting for a few days. Little master, little miss, it's better to move back a little. Don't fall. Xiao Hong felt that this place was dangerous. She tried to persuade them. The water was not deep, and it was easy to drown 2 children. Don't be afraid. Cuckoo and I both know how to swim. We just look at the water and feel good. The sky is beautiful. After we finish the business here, you will be in charge of raising ducks and geese. You can also raise lotus flowers and a few more dishes. It's always expensive. If you can solve it yourself, solve it yourself. Every meal is not easy to come by, Zhang Xiaobao said as he took a step back. He didn't want Xiao Hong to worry. Xiao Hong nodded blankly. She felt that the words of the little master seemed to be more acceptable coming from the mouth of the madam. When the three of them were admiring the sunset, the flying birds, and the flowing water, a person rushed over. As soon as he saw Wang Wan, he said, Little miss, I already know where the Liar Song is. Little girl, this little one already knows where that thing is. According to that Swindler Song's description, we found a few boats on the Luoshui River. and from the places where they occasionally exposed themselves, we saw that red and green thing. As he spoke, the person took out a piece of paper from his arms. There was something drawn on it. He was delayed, because he was looking for someone to draw it. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked at the drawing and said at the same time, "Carrots. Good stuff. Now there's a new dish. I haven't seen this thing here." Zhang Xiaobao was happy. Wang Wan also nodded fiercely. Yes, this thing shouldn't be locally produced. It seems that they really got it from a foreign gang. I don't know what Liar Song was thinking. It seems that all the boats are full of carrots. Then, can the ones in the middle continue to be planted? When we have the seeds, we can plant them ourselves. I like to eat fried carrots. What about you? I like to eat them raw. I also like to eat cucumbers, eggplants, and cabbage. I like to eat them raw and treat them as fruits. Zhang Xiaobao replied. Who would treat these things as fruits? It's not good to eat raw carrots. Wang Wan said with a smile. Then what should we do? Who would send fruits to the orphanage for no reason? It's not easy for that group of people to send some here. They clearly bought it for 100 yuan, but they insisted that it was 1,000 yuan. The reporters from all over the place brought a lot. They were afraid that others wouldn't know that they were sending things. Zhang Xiaobao said with a twitch of his mouth. So that's the case. Then you did suffer a lot when you were young. People all want a good reputation. Wang Wan sighed. She felt that Zhang Xiaobao was really too pitiful when he was young. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head indifferently. Actually, I'm very grateful to those people. No matter what their purpose is, as long as they send things, it's fine. If people send things every day, I'd rather be their witness. It's also fine to say that 100 yuan is 10,000 yuan. It's better than nothing. The happiest thing for me is that I completed the last wish of the dean's grandfather. Before I die, I can exchange a child. It's worth it. Now I have carrots to eat in the future. Xiaobao, please allow me to use solemn words to evaluate you. You are a good liar. Wang Wan blinked her big eyes and said. Chapter 38. Seeing the carrots, Zhang Xiaobao was relieved. Otherwise he would earn less money. 2,000 don of carrots, even if they were slightly overpriced, should be 200,000 caddies. Zhang Xiaobao admired Song Jinggong a little. Where did he get 200,000 caddies of carrots? What was his purpose? What was he thinking when he got the carrots? Did he really want to do normal business? That couldn't be right. If that was the case, then he should find someone to mortgage his shop. A shop worth 300 taels of silver. It shouldn't be a problem to pay 200 taels of silver. Just as Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were puzzled, the messenger gave them an answer. Zhang family's young master, young lady, can this thing be eaten? It's not even as big as our carrots, and it's so expensive. It won't kill people, right? When he said this, Zhang Xiaobao understood. After all, carrots were something that people here had never seen before. Song Jinggong should have gotten them at a cheaper price from outside. It was just that the cost of the boat was a little higher. In the end, he found that no one wanted to buy them, so he prepared to sell them or swindle some money. Usually people didn't have much spare money in their hands. Most people would try to settle accounts by exchanging as much as possible. Who would be willing to spend 2 copper coins to buy a caddy of small carrots? A big carrot weighed 2 caddies, so people would rush to sell it for 1 copper coin. He's preparing to make a big profit. His ambition is not small. Wang Wan also thought of this point and said, he only wants to swindle people and doesn't know how to operate. Wait until we get these 2,000 don of carrots. I'll sell them for 3 copper coins per caddy. You don't even need to swindle people. Zhang Xiaobao smiled, revealing 2 dimples. Even without you, I can sell them. There are only a few methods. If we use them one by one, there will be one that will succeed. The next step is to see if he will fall for it. Wang Wan also had a plan at this time, and happily raised her head. Stop for a moment. I'll arrange the eggs and light the brazier. It will be cold soon. On the road from Tuqiao village to Xinping city, Cherries ordered the driver to stop first. When the carriage stopped, she slightly changed the position of the 200 eggs in front of her. Then, she heated up the mattress in a brazier and covered it with it. Following her call, the car began to move forward slowly again. After 30 years of driving, The handlebar driver had used all his skills in the past 2 days. With the faint light from the lantern hanging in front of the car, the handlebar driver could avoid any small potholes. Only when the horse could no longer walk did he stop. He unloaded the horse and tied it to a nearby tree, allowing the horse to rest and eat by itself. Uncle Wang, you're really good at driving. The eggs weren't shaken too much. Cherries put her hand under the quilt to feel the warmth and coldness. She breathed a sigh of relief. She picked up the water and drank a few mouthfuls, praising the carriage driver, who was leaning against the tree. It's nothing. After 30 years of driving, I'm already used to it. It's not that I want to lie to you. Even without this lantern, I know where the potholes are. As the carriage driver spoke, he opened the water bag and took out a small bag from his body. Inside was some fried rice. He was ready to eat. When Cherry saw this, she quickly took the things from the two people who had been following the carriage. She put it in front of the carriage driver and said, "Uncle Wang, eat this. It's already prepared when we came." Under the light of the lantern, the carriage driver saw some sliced pig head meat in front of him. There were also 2 pancakes. He grinned and didn't hold back. He took the meat and rolled it in the pancake. He took a big bite, narrowed his eyes and slowly swallowed. He then drank some water. His face filled with vicissitudes of life squeezed together and said, "Fragrant, very fragrant. Your zhuangzi is still the best. The Wang family's zhuangzi has to pay a lot of taxes every year. It's not as rich as yours. Uncle Wang, don't say that. Cuckoo is right there. Just wait. In less than 2 years, we 2 people on zhuangzi can eat meat for every meal. I don't dare to say anything about other meat, but we can eat as much chicken as we want." Cherries looked at the carriage and thought about the chicks that were about to come out. Her mood was much more relaxed. "Okay, I'll listen to you. I'll wait for 2 years. I'll eat chicken every meal. Can the eggs on your carriage hatch chicks?" The carriage driver said hopefully. He pointed at the eggs on the carriage and asked with some disbelief. "Of course they can. I saw the chicks inside. In a few days, zhuangzi will be full of chicks running," Cherry said confidently. At night, the dark clouds did not disperse and covered the brilliance of the moon and stars. Song Jinggong was lying on the bed and thinking about something. Suddenly, he laughed and began to talk to himself. "What's the use of looking at me? Do you think I'll go get the things in 2 days? You want to meddle in our affairs? I'm not in a hurry. After a few days, I'll borrow the money and let you know what's on the ship. You dare to raise my price. Sleep and eat. You want me to pay 50 copper coins a day? Fine, I'll pay. Let's see who cries when the time comes. Those things are clearly edible, why can't I sell them? Young Master Song, are you awake? The wine and dishes you wanted are here." Just as Song Jinggong was thinking about the process of swindling money, there was a knock on the door and a question. Song Jinggong got up, lit the oil lamp, and opened the door. When he saw the old man standing outside, he felt a little uncomfortable. He was eating fried eggs with chives and radish strips for every meal. He was a little unable to bear it. Today he had asked someone to prepare some good wine and dishes for him. But in the end, he was asked for 6 maces of silver. In such a small place, it was enough to order a table full of dishes. Looking at the 3 small plates on the dustpan and the pot of wine that the old man was holding, no matter how he calculated, it was not worth 6 maces of silver. "Sorry to trouble you, old man. Bring it in." Song Jinggong warned himself not to be angry. He would take revenge in the future. Only then did he try to smile and greet the old man. "It's no trouble. Young Master Song, you can pay for it. This old man will buy it. What trouble is there? I can't sleep at night." The old man carried the dustpan into the room and placed the 3 dishes and the pot of wine on the small table. He gave Song Jinggong a friendly smile and turned to leave. Song Jinggong was indeed hungry. Seeing that there were 3 dishes, he did not find any scrambled eggs. He heaved a sigh of relief. Finally, he could eat meat. He picked up his chopsticks and found the biggest piece of meat. He picked it up and stuffed it into his mouth. After chewing twice, his expression changed. It was meat, but it was not the mutton he had imagined. It was fish, and there were even bones. The meat was not small. This meant that the fish was big, but the fish was so cheap. How could it cost him 6 copper coins? Song Jinggong, who was bitter, stretched his chopsticks to another plate. The meat here was smaller. When he ate it, Song Jinggong was no longer angry. Instead, he nodded and muttered, "Amazing. Just now it was the meat of a big fish. Now it is the meat of a small fish. Zhangjia Zhuangzi, I will remember." After muttering, Song Jinggong turned his gaze to the medium-sized meat. He did not need to taste it to know that it was the meat of a medium-sized fish. There were less than 3 fish. Added together, it did not cost more than 10 copper coins. Including the work, 20 copper coins was enough. Song Jinggong accepted his fate. He picked up the pot of wine and gulped it down without caring about the taste. He threw away the chopsticks and lay on the bed to sleep. After a few days, when Song Jinggong thought that he still needed 2 more days, Manager Zhang personally came to find him. "Young Master Song, the money has been prepared. Does young master still need it?" Manager Zhang seemed to be in a hurry. He had not even caught his breath when he opened his mouth to ask. "Really? That's great. Manager Zhang, you have helped me a lot. Don't worry. After the matter is done, I, Song Jinggong, will definitely not forget you." Once he heard that the matter of the money was settled, Song Jinggong's gloomy mood immediately dissipated. Without waiting for Manager Zhang to speak, he said, "If that's the case, then I will give you the deed of my shop." "There is no hurry. Young Master Song's shop still has some things that I need to take a closer look at. I will ask someone to bring the money. Why don't we leave today?" Manager Zhang obviously knew that he had to say everything that needed to be said. Otherwise, it would be easy to arouse suspicion. Song Jinggong smiled and nodded. He had already thought about this matter. Immediately, he walked with Manager Zhang and the person who brought the money to Sanshui County. In the afternoon, they finally arrived outside the shop. When he looked inside, he saw that the person who usually looked at the shop was standing behind the counter. Song Jinggong's face immediately darkened. He walked forward and asked, "Where is Manager Zhao and Lu Wang?" Replying to boss, "This afternoon, someone came to our shop and took a fancy to a jug. He actually spent 30 taels of silver to buy it. He even said that it was cheap and insisted on inviting shopkeeper Zhao and Lu Wang to have a drink. They went. Do you want me to call them back?" "They just left." The person replied, "There is no need. You can go back. I will take care of the shop." "Manager Zhang, this business is busy. I will close the shop after I borrow the money. You can send someone to take care of it. We will talk again when I have the money. Later, deduct the price of that pot, and I will pay for it directly. Don't look at how expensive it was just now. In fact, that pot was only worth 160 taels. Do you want to hand it over?" Song Jinggong glanced at the place where the pot was placed and found that there was one less than 100 taels missing. He did not care at all. "Okay, then ask the person from Jiehui to come over. I have already prepared the money." Manager Zhang readily agreed. The person behind him put down the money and turned to look for Jiehui's guarantor. After a while he came back. This time there were 4 people. After all, there were many things. According to Jiehui's account book, everything was verified. Just as Song Jinggong was about to sign the contract with Manager Zhang, Manager Zhang suddenly pointed to a painting and said, "It is better to remember it carefully. There are flaws in that painting. If there is a mistake, it will be easier to verify. Young Master Song, let's first be a villain, and then a gentleman. If there is a mistake, you will have to pay 3 times the amount. We have already agreed." After saying this, without waiting for Song Jinggong to say anything, he ordered someone to draw the flaws in the painting. He also specifically wrote down the burned area and asked Jiehui's person to vouch for it. Song Jinggong did not think much of it. It was just a painting. When the time came, he would just leave it to them. He stood at the side and watched with a smile. When the person came and carefully verified the other worthless things, he would hand over the money and take over the shop. After Manager Zhang left, Song Jinggong curled his lips and turned to walk towards the Luoshui River. He knew that someone would definitely follow him. Chapter 39. Both sides of the river are green, and the grass is green with dragonflies. The sky is blue with few clouds, and the water is blue with dew. Swallows gather and make a sound when the wind comes. Wild flowers move with the waves, a little sparkling. Early the next morning, Song Jinggong came to the Luoshui River. Looking at the scenery in front of him, he should be in a good mood, but he felt that something was wrong. From Sanshui County to here, it was already late yesterday. In addition, he wanted to see if there was anyone following behind him. Therefore, on the way, he randomly found an inn to stay. As a result, he saw the person with the silver beside Steward Zhang. After he confirmed that there was someone following him, he wondered if this person was stupid. Did he not know how to follow? Others would try to keep a certain distance from the person being followed, but this person was good. He was following about 20 steps behind. Every time he stopped and turned around to look, he would normally try to hide, but this person was different. He just kept looking straight ahead and acted like he didn't know him. Did he think he was a fool? How could he not remember people after such a short time? This was not the most annoying thing. He had already found an inn, and there was another inn next to this one. If he was following him, he should have stayed in that inn. In the end, he stayed in the same inn. He ate in the hall, and there were 2 tables by the window. He actually sat on one of them, facing each other. He did not even spit at the person in front of him. There were not many people, so there were many empty tables. Otherwise, why would they not sit and eat together? How was this following? This was clearly surveillance. He did not know what Manager Zhang was planning. Did he want to shed all pretense of cordiality? Song Jinggong stood on the shore not far from the pier and thought. What was going on? Why did he feel uneasy? Was it because of the person following him? Was it because of Manager Zhang's attitude? Was it because he was wronged by the Zhang family and the Wang family in Zhuangzi? It did not seem to be the case. After thinking for a while, Song Jinggong attributed his emotions to his actions this time. He thought that it was because his actions this time were too big, and he was too good at tricking people. He turned his head and looked at the person who was squatting about 10 steps away from him. At this time, the person was fiddling with the grass on the ground. From this distance, he could see that there was a black mass of ants under the person's feet. The person was using the grass to fight the ants. Song Jinggong let out a long sigh. He really wanted to go over and ask that person, "How old are you? How could such a person be sent out?" Shaking his head, Song Jinggong didn't want to waste his time on this idiot. It was better to look at the unsellable goods that were shipped back from the French lands. Thinking of this, Song Jinggong walked towards the dock. The boat he had hired was still docked there. Of course, this boat didn't come with any money. As a swindler, he wouldn't pay for the boat. Instead, he had an agreement with the fan gang. He would split the profits 50-50 with the fan gang. When Song Jinggong arrived at the dock, someone on the boat had already recognized him. He hurriedly ran over and respectfully greeted. "Hello, great scholar Song. Have you found someone to buy gonsen? That's great. We've spent a lot of money on food and drinks these days. If we can't sell it, we'll lose a lot of money." His attitude was respectful, but his words carried a hint of complaint. Song Jinggong also knew that if it were anyone else, they would be unhappy. "Yes, soon. Where's Sunny? Get him here. I have something important to discuss with him." The person Song Jinggong was talking about was a small noble leader of the fan gang. After interacting with this side for a long time, he had picked up some of the habits here. When the person who greeted Song Jinggong heard Song Jinggong ask about the leader, his face unconsciously showed a trace of happiness. He still respectfully replied, "Great scholar Song, my king has found a way to make money. He has already left this place, and will probably return in 2 days. Make a fortune? He can make a fortune. Good. How can he make a fortune if he doesn't know? Where is the fortune?" Song Jinggong laughed. "This fan gang came here to make a fortune? Dream on." Hearing Song Jinggong's disdainful tone, the person was slightly dissatisfied. However, he still maintained a smile and continued, "My king really did find a way to make a fortune. He also said that when you arrive, he will let you go and take a look." Seeing how confident he was, Song Jinggong was also puzzled. Could it be that Sunny Gon really got lucky and found something? He felt that it was impossible, so he asked, "How did Sunny Gon find it? Where did he want me to go?" Someone came over and asked if we wanted to buy a chicken. He said that he could buy a chicken for 2 copper coins. The kind that can lay eggs when it grows up, the person replied. This time, Song Jinggong was no longer confused but dumbfounded. A chicken cost about 30 copper coins, which was not too expensive, but a hen was different. It could lay eggs, and no matter how cheap the eggs were, they were still worth 1 copper coin. When a chick grew up and laid eggs, it would not take too long. Half a year would be enough. 2 copper coins to buy a chicken and feed it some food for half a year would only cost a few copper coins. It would be even more economical to let it find its own food. Half a year later, the money would come in continuously. This price was too cheap. Hens could not lay eggs when they were hugging their nests. After a few days of delay, the eggs that they laid would be worth a few copper coins. How could it be so cheap? Liar. I never thought that I, Song Jinggong, would meet a liar. This was the most intuitive thought in Song Jinggong's mind. However, he did not know how the other party cheated him. Since the other party was selling chickens and not eggs, he could tell the difference at a glance. Okay, I'll go over now. Find someone to lead the way. Song Jinggong really did not understand. He wanted to see it for himself. He called out and glanced at the foolish stalker. He was led away from the dock and rushed to the place where the chickens were sold. Birds chirped and butterflies chased each other. In the distance, the green mountains were surrounded by fog. Beside them, the oblique light stirred up dust. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had just woken up in the morning. After drinking milk, they did not continue to sleep. Together, they went to the vegetable garden in the courtyard and prepared to continue cooking for the adults. The two of them just needed to drink some soup and swallow some crumbs. There are no kidney beans. I wanted to stew some. Wang Wan looked around and did not find any kidney beans. Instead, there were cowpeas. Zhang Xiaobao, on the other hand, was like a thief. He struggled to pull out a small eggplant about 2 inches in diameter from the eggplant field. He used his thumb to dig out a small piece and stuffed it into his mouth. He nodded his head in satisfaction. Xiaobao, what are you doing? It's not suitable for you to eat eggplant right now. Why are you sneaking around? Wang Wan saw Zhang Xiaobao secretly eating and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm afraid others will find out. The eggplant is too small. It's a pity to eat it like this. But this is the time when the eggplant is the sweetest. Try it. As Zhang Xiaobao spoke, he dug out another piece and gave it to Wang Wan. Wang Wan really did not know what to say. Such a big person actually did this kind of thing that only a child would do. She reached out and patted away the small piece. Can you do something more serious? Then forget it. Xiaohong, eat it. It's very sweet. After you finish eating, help us pick the eggplant. We'll eat this for lunch today. Zhang Xiaobao readily accepted and gave the small eggplant to Xiaohong. Xiaohong took it and really ate it. She didn't have anything to eat in the morning. She only had 2 meals a day. It was good to eat some eggplant. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were stunned when they saw Xiaohong eat the eggplant in a few mouthfuls. After a while, Wang Wan said, Xiaohong, don't worry. After Xiaobao and I earn the money in the next few days, we'll definitely let the person who works the most in Zhuangzi eat 4 meals a day. Morning, noon, and night, as well as supper. Thank you, Cuckoo. Actually, we're already used to it. Not to mention 4 meals, even 3 meals would cost a lot more. Xiaohong's eyes lit up. She felt that this was impossible. Which Zhuangzi would give their servants 4 meals a day? Wang Wan also knew that Xiaohong wouldn't believe it if she didn't eat 4 meals a day. She didn't say anything more. She pulled Zhang Xiaobao to look at other dishes while Xiaohong picked the eggplants. Actually, just 4 meals is not enough. These people are always working hard all day, and they have to be on call in the middle of the night. In the future, we have to prepare more fruits for them to replenish their nutrients. Wool comes from sheep. The better their health, the more things they can do. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan went to a small field of green onions and squatted there. It was enough for a normal person to eat 3 meals a day. Those servants were too tired. Moreover, they lived in Zhuangzi as a family. Without children, parents would be sad. Without parents, children would be sad. Stability and unity were the most important. With enough nutrition, people's lives would be longer. When he and Wang Wan grew up, the next generation of Zhuangzi would also be born. Zhuangzi also needed to have the culture of Zhuangzi. Well, don't worry. I'll arrange it when the time comes. You're in charge of planning, and I'll be in charge of organizing. In the future, if there are more servants and guards, I'll be in charge of training. While I'm still young, I'm going to find some military combat information of this era and combine theory with practice to make tactics. Wang Wan also supported this point. She also wanted to apply what she had learned. Seeing Zhang Xiaobao's nervous gaze, she smiled and said, "Don't worry. I won't rebel. I won't implicate the Zhang family. What are you going to cook for lunch?" Eggplant roasted with fish, steamed with green onions and sauce, garlic eggplant, mincemeat eggplant and dry fried eggplant. For this dish, you need to use the water of the chili seedlings, shredded eggplant, braised pork ribs with eggplant, and braised eggplant with rapeseed with peas. 8. That's enough. Add an eggplant with seaweed and shrimp soup. Zhang Xiaobao counted on his little fingers and said one by one to Wang Wan. After listening, Wang Wan nodded seriously and said, "Okay, I think this is a good idea. I'm going to eat tofu tonight. I'll rely on you. It must be a tofu feast." "No problem, I'll definitely complete the task. The only thing I'm worried about is whether the shredded eggplant made with brown sugar will taste bad. Later, I'll get some charcoal and filter out the brown sugar residue. It'll be more convenient to cook in the future." Zhang Xiaobao dared to agree as soon as Wang Wan said so. He looked eager to try, which made Wang Wan speechless. "Well, anything is fine. Do you think that swindler Song won't do what you want?" Wang Wan brought the topic back to the main topic. "Don't worry. I know people like him. His mentality is the same as mine when I first started to cheat." Zhang Xiaobao said indifferently, "If you have space on your bookshelf, please add it to your bookshelf. If you have votes, please vote. It's not easy. Please understand me. I'm happy to write, and you're happy to read." Chapter 40. The distance from Luoshui River to Xianyu village outside Xinping City was not close at all. In order to find out the reason as soon as possible, Song Jinggong had no choice but to take the carriage. The journey was bumpy, and he only climbed out of the carriage when it was almost noon. With a pale face, he looked back and found that the fool's stalker had also gotten a carriage. Song Jinggong finally understood. They were not following him, but monitoring him. They were afraid that he would run away. Song Jinggong didn't have time to pay any more attention to him. He and the person who led the way quickened their pace and walked into the village. After turning left and right for about a quarter of an hour, the person stopped in front of a very small courtyard. There was a small wooden door in the middle of the fence, which was half the height of a person. It wasn't locked, and when the wind blew, it swung from inside to outside. There was another person standing in the courtyard. Song Jinggong had seen him before. He used to stay by Song Grignigan's side. Since he was here, Song Grignigan must be in the house. If there really are chicks in the eggs, when I go back, I will buy 10,000 of them. Before Song Jinggong could step into the house, he heard the familiar voice of Serenade. From his words, it was clear that the chick had not yet hatched, which further proved that the chick was a hoax. With a plan in mind, Song Jinggong straightened his clothes and walked in with a smile. As soon as he entered, he said, "Who sells chicks for 2 coins? I will buy as many as you have." When he stood still, he saw an old man, 2 young men, and a woman facing Serenade. The woman's face was half covered with a cloth. From the part that was slightly exposed, he could see a green birthmark. No wonder she had to cover it. The 2 young men were standing. The old man was sitting on something that he did not know what to call. That thing took up part of the whole room. The other end was connected to the wall. "Great Scholar Song, you are also here. Look, this is called a Kong. It is a place that they use to replace the hen's nest. This woman said that in 2 or 3 days, chicks will come out of the eggs. I am going to stay here and wait for the chicks to come out. When the time comes, I will buy 10,000 of them and raise them at home." A sturdy man in the room said stiffly when he saw the people coming in. This man was Senrinigan, a Japanese. Song Jinggong replied with a smile. "Sanri did it. Why would you believe such a thing? If this thing called a Kong can help a hen build a nest, Doesn't that mean that in the future, only hens can lay eggs? Let's go back and sort out our goods. When Sanri Nigan heard Song Jinggong's words, he shook his head and insisted, "No, I have to see if they can really make chicks. There are 200 chicks on the bed. I have already paid the deposit. If there are no chicks, they will have to compensate me tenfold. We will know in 2 days." Song Jinggong looked at the Kong bed. It was covered with a mattress. He guessed that the egg was underneath it. Could it really hatch? When Song Jinggong entered the courtyard just now, he had already looked around. There were no chickens in the courtyard. If he could really use this method to hatch chicks, then wouldn't he just need to get more of these Kong beds and go elsewhere to buy eggs? A chicken for 2 copper coins was indeed too cheap. Even if it was sold for 3 copper coins, people would rush to buy it. He would really make a fortune. After thinking for a while, Song Jinggong said to the old man, "Sir, can you let me take a look at these eggs?" The old man looked at Song Jinggong, and then at the woman. He said, "You have to ask my daughter-in-law about this. She is the one who is making these eggs." Song Jinggong followed the old man's gaze and looked at the woman again. The woman was easy to talk to. She nodded and walked to the Kong bed. She gently lifted the mattress. There were indeed many eggs inside. "Senrinigan, since you want to take a look, I will accompany you for 2 days." A thought flashed through Song Jinggong's mind. He also wanted to stay and accompany them. As for the place to live, it was also simple. Now that the weather was hot, they could just find a place to stay. They could eat in this house and give some money for food. He thought that this family would not refuse. Song Jinggong had been used to the hardships these past few days, so he did not mind persevering for another 2 days. He wanted to see if this family could make chickens. The old man didn't refuse. Not only did he promise to cook for Song Jinggong and the others, he also promised to leave a room for them to live in. He didn't ask for much money, 6 copper coins per person per day. He only asked for some vegetables. If they wanted to eat meat, they could buy it themselves and the old man would cook for them. Immediately, the 3 of them prepared to stay. Song Jinggong thought of the person who was watching him. He went to the door and looked outside. As expected, that person didn't leave. He was standing outside the courtyard staring at the door. Song Jinggong saw this and didn't get angry. If they wanted to stay, then so be it. He took out some money and gave it to the old man. He asked him to buy some wine and food. They would eat here for lunch. Don't cut the skin together. First, remove the skin, cut the strips, oil, and continue. Tuqiao Village, Zhangjia Zhuangzi's kitchen. Zhang Xiaobao was instructing 2 people who specialized in cooking. If it wasn't because Zhang Xiaobao felt that he couldn't pick up the kitchen knife, he didn't need others to do it. He believed that his skills were better. "Good job, Xiaobao. You're good at talking on paper. You're so logical." Wang Wan saw that Zhang Xiaobao was so busy that she sincerely praised him. "I don't think these words should come out of your mouth, General Wang. Do all the people who learn to command in the military academy hold a gun and rush to the front to arrange the formation? I'm a little worried now. If I really find some people to let you teach tactics, the biggest possibility is that the general won't be at the back. Instead, he will be riding a horse and charging while calling for the messengers." Zhang Xiaobao didn't care at all. When he was instructing others on how to cook, he still had time to talk back with his lips. "You're right. Now that you mention it, I just remembered that there's no on-site information display system here. I don't even have a map. The firepower distribution is also different. I have to think about it again. In that case, the most important thing now is to study individual or group combat. We need to have a strong long-range attack ability to effectively intersperse and surround the enemy. Comrade Xiaobao, do you know how to draw a map?" Unexpectedly, Wang Wan didn't refute. She nodded and admitted that she was lacking. "No, I don't know. When did I learn this?" Zhang Xiaobao felt that something was wrong with this situation, based on his years of experience in swindling people. "You really don't know? Did you forget to learn? Maybe you'll know after a few more times. It's okay if you don't know. I'll teach you. I know." Wang Wan put her face in front of Zhang Xiaobao and threatened him. "Okay, don't wait for the oil to boil before adding the sugar. It will burn. Put the eggplant. Okay, the last dish is done. Prepare the cold water and leave. Zhang Xiaobao chose to forget Wang Wan's existence. After giving the last order, he turned around and left. When he passed by the threshold, he tripped and almost fell. Fortunately, Wang Wan supported him. Look, this is the result of not being familiar with the terrain. Wang Wan smiled and pulled Zhang Xiaobao. Lunch could be said to be extremely sumptuous. There were 8 dishes, a soup and a main dish. When all the dishes were served, except for Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao, the 4 adults were dumbfounded. They weren't dumbfounded because all the dishes had eggplant, but because they didn't know how Xiaobao could make so many patterns of eggplant. Mom, you eat. Wang Wan and I can eat by ourselves. Except for the fried eggplant and the dry fried eggplant, everything else is fine. Zhang Xiaobao directly picked up an eggplant and put it on his mother's plate. Zhang Wang Clan looked at the eggplants on the table and nodded. She praised, "My son is amazing. Which child can make such a dazzling array of eggplants?" Zhang Xiaobao's grandfather and grandmother also smiled and agreed with Zhang Wang Clan's words. In the end, the 4 adults and 2 children ate more than half of the dishes on the table. Zhang Xiaobao saw that there were still leftovers and immediately regretted. He didn't want to waste things. After all, he was afraid of starvation during those years of wandering. Let's stew them together tonight. We'll eat together. Wang Wan knew Zhang Xiaobao very well. Forget it. I'll be more careful in the future and try not to waste things. Let's do it like we did before. Zhang Xiaobao replied helplessly. According to the previous method, they would throw away these dishes and feed them to the pigs. Some of them would be eaten by the servants. This was something that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't want to see. The servants were also people. We can eat this kind of food. It's better than the previous training. Wang Wan continued to persuade. I know. I used to hide from the wanted people and ran deep into the mountains. I also ate grass roots and tree barks to satisfy my hunger. But who would let us eat like that? Zhang Xiaobao didn't want to think more. He stood up, said goodbye to his relatives and walked out. 2 days were neither too long nor too short. When the first chick broke its eggshell on the Kong in the room in Xianyo village and came out wet, it was acceptable no matter how long the wait was. Song Jinggong could hardly believe his eyes. Could this thing called Kong really replace the hen's nest? For a moment, the chick became a golden chick in his eyes. He didn't care how much the chick was worth. What he cared about was the method to hatch the chick. He understood that this process was not as simple as what he saw. There must be some tricks. Imagining the days when he would have a lot of money in the future, Song Jinggong looked at the woman with the birthmark on her face and felt that this woman had a special kind of beauty. Song Grignagan also stared blankly at the chick's body drying bit by bit. He would be happy even if there were only 200 of them. There were 10,000 of them. It seemed that there was hope. Just when they were all looking at the chick, someone's voice suddenly came from outside. Is this the place? We can use this thing called Kong to replace the hen's nest? Boss, you're right. This is the place. A voice that seemed to be a servant sounded. Song Jinggong was stunned and immediately reacted. He said to the old man who was still sitting there with a serene look, Sir, please don't tell anyone about this. I'll give you money. That's not good. Great talent, Song. Everyone who enters is a guest. Oh, the second chick also came out. The old man narrowed his eyes and just replied to Song Jinggong. Then another chick's head came out from the eggs on the Kong. Chapter 41. There really are chicks coming out. Following this voice, 6 people stood in front of the door. One of them was a man with a bulging belly, who always had a smile on his face. Another one had his head lowered and waist bent. The other 4 were blocked behind him and could be seen a little. They were probably servants or guards. Song Jinggong had already lost his composure. Seeing that there were people coming over to look at the chicks, his smile was no longer as natural as before. He stood in front of the door and said, It's just for fun. Actually, we use a hen to carry a nest and then bring it to the Kong bed. You are? Without waiting for the man with the bulging belly to speak, the person beside him who was still smiling suddenly straightened his back and squinted his eyes as he asked Song Jinggong. No, I'm just a high scholar. My surname is Song, and my name is Jinggong. Song Jinggong knew that this was not the time to show his fear. He raised his head and said, "Oh, it's just a high scholar. I thought that the top scorer had arrived. Boss, let's go in and take a look." The man laughed and turned his face around. Once again, he had a respectful look on his face, which made people gasp in amazement. The boss walked in and casually made a sound of acknowledgement. He didn't even look at Song Jinggong. The 4 people behind him followed suit, squeezing in until there was no more space in the house. When they got closer, it just so happened that a chick had broken out of its shell and was trying to squeeze out. The boss's eyes lit up. He wasn't a fool and knew that this was the most important method. The chick didn't seem to care at all. "Old man, didn't we agree on this? Leave this matter to me." Song Jinggong turned around and faced the old man. He winked at him and gestured with his hand. The old man didn't seem to notice Song Jinggong's actions and didn't reply to him. Instead, he looked at the newcomer and said, "Master, look. This is what my daughter-in-law made. As long as the egg is placed on the Kong bed, after a few days, the chick will come out." "Oh, it can't be that simple?" The boss smiled at the old man and asked. His words carried a hint of threat. "I don't know. It was my daughter-in-law who took care of the servants." "What did young Master Song say just now?" The old man pretended to be unafraid and turned to ask Song Jinggong. Song Jinggong was very angry. He knew that this old man was not stupid at all. Maybe this family was the one who spread the news. The more people who saw it, the more money this family could earn. Now he no longer thought that this was a scam. The chicken really came out. Seeing that the old man had pushed him out, he wanted to refuse, but was reluctant to give up. So he had to be the bad guy. He wanted to make his expression more natural, but found that he couldn't. So he simply put on a straight face and said, "Sir, I just said that I will take care of this matter. When the time comes, I will help you sell chicks. I wonder if you will agree?" After Song Jinggong finished speaking, he looked back at the 6 people who were looking at him and turned his head away. He didn't even want to look at them. So this is the place where chicks can be hatched on the Kong bed? Just when the 2 groups of people were practicing their eyesight, a voice came from outside again. "Young master, that's right. I have found out. Please come in. This should be another servant." Basically, all servants spoke like this. Sure enough, a few people appeared at the door. One of them was about 20 years old. He had just turned 20. His white clothes were fluttering in the wind. He looked very handsome. Seeing that there was no place to walk in the room, Wei Wei frowned. The person next to him said, "Come out. Don't you see that our young master is here?" Xiaowu, what are you saying? Have you forgotten what I have taught you?" This young master didn't say anything when Xiaowu was talking. He waited for Xiaowu to finish speaking before he pretended to be a good person with a calm smile. In the room, other than Cherries and another person, the others were a little scared. This young master was not ordinary. Even Song Jinggong felt that he couldn't pretend to be like this. Ying Tao, who was wearing a face scarf, and the other person did not feel anything at all. Just by looking at Feng Shui and her family's young master, one could tell that he was beautiful. He had a fair and plump appearance, pure and big eyes, and 2 round dimples when he smiled. His words were irresistible, and he could strategize and decide victory from 1,000 miles away. When he grew a little older, which young master could compare to him? This was great. The 3 groups of people gathered together and didn't see eye to eye with each other. In order to let the young master who came later enter the room to watch, the old man even drove out the second servant of the owner, who came later. After all, this was his house. Now 5 chicks had already come out from the Kong. The first one that came out had dry feathers and was chirping nonstop. Cherries quickly brought the rice soup that she had already cooked to feed it. Seeing this situation, the 3 groups of people began to discuss with the old man. One group said that they were willing to take out 10 taels of silver. Another group said that they could exchange it for 100 bolts of silk. In short, they all wanted to get the method of hatching chicks on the Kong. The old man looked at one, and then looked at another. He didn't say anything, and just waited with a smile. The 3 groups of people kept increasing the price. When the price reached 200 taels of silver, only Song Jinggong dared to shout. The others didn't say anything. The other 2 groups of people thought, that it was not worth it to spend so much money. How many chickens would they need to raise to earn back the money? Just as Song Jinggong was feeling complacent, people began to come in from outside. In the end, a total of more than 10 groups of people arrived. After seeing that the Kong really could be used to hatch chicks, one of the more generous people opened his mouth and said 500 taels of silver. No one knew what he was thinking. When Song Jinggong heard this, he also became listless. He really couldn't take out that much money. At the same time, he was a bit jealous of the old man's family. With so much money, how many lifetimes would it take to spend it? Other people like this would use things to exchange for daily necessities. When the old man's family had so much money, they might be in danger. Seeing that no one raised the price again, the old man said, "Everyone, I say everyone, you are all rich people. This old man is not. What do I need so much money for? I'm afraid that it will bring a fatal disaster. How about this? Those who are willing to pay can continue to pay. Those who are not willing to pay can also exchange things. Silk, wheat, rice, millet, and even things like soybeans, radishes, horses, cows, and sheep. This old man can take them all. When the time comes, I'll just convert them into silver. Who gives me more? This old man will let his daughter-in-law sell the recipe to that family. How about it?" When the crowd heard this, most of them shrank back. After all, there was too much money. If the 500 taels were not enough, how much more did he want? Song Jinggong was happy. He had goods that were worth 400 taels of silver. Adding the 200 taels he borrowed, and the 200 taels he saved before, he could take out 800 taels. Others might think that it was not worth it to buy this thing. But he didn't think so. He was ready. As long as he hatched chicks, he could continue to cheat people. In a few days, he would be able to borrow another sum of money. Just as the crowd was about to continue to raise the price, a person suddenly said, "Wait, I want to ask, if I buy this recipe and you sell it to someone else, what should I do?" Everyone can rest assured. This old man has already thought about it. When the time comes, I will find a sharp-tongued person to be a guarantor. Of course, if this recipe is spread out by yourself, then don't blame me. I will only do it in my own house. Without power and influence, I can't make a big scene. The old man spoke again at this time. This time, the crowd was finally relieved. They thought that an old man would not dare to cheat people. Otherwise, he would be beaten to death. The crowd was ready to raise the price again. At this time, the old man spoke again. "Everyone, don't be anxious. This old man has a method that can let you not have a falling out with each other." Everyone stopped and listened to him. "Son, bring the brush, ink, paper, and inkstone. Everyone, this old man's method is. Everyone, write down the price or things that you want to take out on paper. Don't let others see it. When the time comes, give it to me together. I will see which family has the highest price and give it to that family. How about it?" The old man called out. One of the two people on the other side came out and took out the 4 treasures of the study that had been prepared long ago. He let these people write on it. At first, everyone thought that this method was good. Who knew that when they thought about how much money or things to pay, they would find that they could not guess other people's price. If the price was too low, the recipe would be gone. If the price was too high, wouldn't they lose money? Everyone could not help but secretly curse this old man in their hearts. He actually came up with such a bad idea. Clearly knowing that this was not good for them, they had to write. After one person finished writing, the next person took away the piece of paper under the pad, afraid that others would see the traces. Fortunately, everyone knew a few words and knew how to write a few words, so they didn't need to find someone else to write for them. After a quarter of an hour, everyone stopped writing and handed the paper to the old man. The old man persuaded them to wait outside. On the other side, the other man on the zhuangzi began to open the paper and found someone who was willing to pay 700 taels of silver. This was the highest price. Then he took out Song Jinggong's piece of paper. At first glance, he found that Song Jinggong wanted to pay less. He counted the 2,000 dawn of carats as 400 taels of silver. He added 250 taels of silver. The man nodded and handed the paper to the old man. He whispered a few words, and the old man wrote them down one by one. Outside, Song Jinggong was also talking to Sanrigan. After all, the goods on the ship belonged to two families. Sanrigan, wait for me to get the recipe. After the chickens are hatched, we will pay with the chickens. What do you think? Song Jinggong asked. Why don't you give me a copy of the recipe? Sanrigan was not stupid. He wanted the recipe. You don't understand. In the future, you can come to me to get the chickens. I will give you a discount. But if you take them back, can you keep the recipe? Many people are jealous. You don't have the protection of the government. Song Jinggong analyzed the pros and cons and persuaded him. Sanrigan thought about it. It was true, so he nodded and agreed. After a while, the old man came out with 2 pieces of paper in his hand. He said, Everyone, the result is out. Mr. Li from Ximping City. This time it is 700 taels of silver. As soon as he said this, the others gasped. Song Jinggong's heart sank. If he had known this, he would have added more money. Those carrots were not worth much. At this time the old man said, Unfortunately, Mr. Li is a little bit worse. Young Master Song bought the recipe with 2,000 don of carrots, which is 400 taels of silver, plus 350 taels of silver. The total is 750 taels of silver. As soon as he finished, Mr. Li said with an ugly face, I will pay 800 taels of silver. Mr. Li, you are too late. If you wrote down 800 taels of silver, we will give it to you. But maybe you want to. The old man didn't finish his sentence, but everyone understood. That's right, if they wanted less money, how could they return the prescription to you? Boss Li also knew that his words were not spoken at the right time. So he said goodbye and left in a hurry. Chapter 42. Song Jinggong stood there, feeling a bit dizzy. He felt that he did not remember wrongly. He wrote 2,000 stones of goods and 250 taels of silver. When did it become 350 taels of silver? Did the old man misread 2 and 3? He wanted to take a look at what he wrote. But he was afraid that the old man would take a closer look and call Li Dongjia back. He could only nod and say, Yes, this young master wants this prescription. When can I hand it over? Right away. Someone has already gone to find the people from Jiehui. When they come, the recipe will be written for you. The old man was relieved. He was afraid that he had messed up the young master's task. After a while, the people from Jiehui arrived. Both parties signed the contract. The recipe was already written and was given to Song Jinggong by Cherries. Song Jinggong could not wait to open it. It was written on how to make a Kong. It was very simple. Song Jinggong glanced at it and knew what was going on. When he waited for the latter part, how to make eggs, it was even simpler. He saw that it said, Look for a few hens to hold a nest. When they hold the nest, put your hand under their belly and feel the temperature. Then light a fire on the Kong and put the eggs on it. When the temperature is about the same as the temperature under the chicken's belly, you can do it. Also, be careful of being bitten when touching the chicken. After reading this paragraph, Song Jinggong understood after a little thought. It was that simple. He regretted it. He had spent so much money and goods in exchange for a prescription that he could understand so easily. How could he do that? This recipe is fake. You have to pay me. Song Jinggong held the recipe and shouted. The people from Jiehui also looked at the 4 people. Their meaning was that the recipe was fake, and they had to pay. If they could not pay, they would have to go to jail. If young Master Song thinks that the recipe is fake, then please give it to the people from Jiehui. When they go back, do according to the recipe. If there is a chicken, young Master Song, what will you do? Cherry said coldly. Song Jinggong did not dare to give the recipe to the people from Jiehui. If he did, not only would the people from Jiehui know the recipe, he would also be arrested. Seeing the people from Jiehui look over, he smiled awkwardly and said, It's just a joke. It's a real recipe. How can it be fake? Since that's the case, young Master Song, please pay for the goods. The sharp-toothed man didn't give Song Jinggong any face. He was a regular in this business, so how could he not know what Song Jinggong was thinking? He glanced at Song Jinggong contemptuously and said, Okay, let's go and get the money to receive the goods. Song Jinggong carefully put away the prescription and followed Sonri Negan, the old man's family of 4, the person who brought him here, the person who followed him like a ghost, and the person who followed him like a ghost, as well as Jiehui's guarantor. Together, they went to the Luoshui River to get the money. He left in the morning and only arrived in the afternoon. He was much slower than when he arrived. Lunch was eaten in the car. After all, everyone was in a hurry and did not want to delay. When they arrived at the dock, Song Grignagan and Song Jinggong were surprised to find that there were countless cars parked there. There were even people who looked like they were here to load the cars. There were also people waiting there with sacks of things. Young Master Song, let's unload the goods. I've already found someone to take the goods, Cherry said. Song Jinggong nodded and began to order people to unload the goods. It took a while to unload the goods. They were unloaded here and there. Once they were loaded, they would leave. There were even people who specially selected the goods. When they felt that they were suitable, they took out soil from the sacks and wrapped it around the carrots. They carefully stacked it on the carrots instead of piling it into a big pile. When it was evening, the goods were finally unloaded. They all loaded the carrots and left. There was not a single bit left. Song Jinggong was puzzled. How did an old man's family of 4 get so many carrots? So he asked, "How did you hire so many carrots?" "It's not easy to hire so many." Cherries took off the cloth covering her face and took out a wet handkerchief to wipe her face. She said with a smile, "Young Master Song, you don't have to think too much. With the financial resources of Zhang Wang and Zhuangzi, it's not difficult to get some carrots. No matter how many carrots there are, it's still possible. You're the servant girl of that child in Tuqiao village Zhangjia Zhuangzi?" Song Jinggong felt as if a large piece of ice was suddenly stuffed into his stomach. His entire body was cold. He had calculated everything, but he didn't expect that he would be tricked. There must be something wrong with that recipe, but he couldn't figure out what was wrong. That's right. If that's the case, there will be chicks hatching. But why? But he couldn't help but think that he was tricked. Otherwise, why would all of this happen at the same time? Could it be that something went wrong? At this moment, a person ran over from afar. As he ran, he shouted, "Young Master Song, it's not good. It's not good." Song Jinggong raised his head to look. It was actually shopkeeper Zhao from his antique calligraphy and painting shop. Why did he come? When shopkeeper Zhao ran over, he took 2 deep breaths and said, "Young Master Song, it's not good. The caretaker residence is finished." "What's finished? How is it finished? You tell me clearly." When Song Jinggong heard this, he was confused for a moment. He could only force himself to ask, "It's my fault. Speaking of which, it's all my fault. I didn't know that you had already taken the caretaker residence out. Otherwise, I would have found out earlier." Shopkeeper Zhao said with a sobbing tone. "Tell me what happened." Song Jinggong's heart was getting more and more irritated. "Okay, I'll tell you. These 2 days, I've been with Lu Wang in the restaurant and that brothel. Originally, we wanted to go back, but the person who was looking after the house came and said that young master had something to discuss with someone in the shop. These few days, I didn't need to rush back. Otherwise, if I offended the noble, even if I had several lives, it wouldn't be enough. I believed it and stayed with Lu Wang until today. In the end, there was no one in the shop. A few people who said that they were from Zhangjia Zhuangzi were guarding there. They told me that the shop had been taken out." Shopkeeper Zhao finally said the matter. After Song Jinggong heard this, his brows furrowed. He felt that this shopkeeper Zhao was really not presentable. He was so easily believed by others. Didn't he want to continue enjoying himself in that kind of place? That was why he found such an excuse. Okay. I'm the one who took out the mortgage. After a few days it will be back. You're still a shopkeeper there. I won't chase you away. Do what you need to do. Don't stay here." Song Jinggong still decided not to care about this matter. The shop wasn't important. At most he would return the money. Now he had a new way to earn money. Selling the things on the ship could also be considered as cheating the Zhang family. "No, young master. It's not that simple. A few days before you took out the Zhuangzi, someone came to buy something. He wanted that painting. I gave him a high price of 150 taels of silver. That person didn't take it away immediately. Instead, he left a deposit of 50 taels of silver. After half a month, if he still didn't come to collect it, then young master, Li would pay an extra 100 taels of silver every night. If he didn't collect it in a month, then the deposit would be given to the shop. If it wasn't this painting, then the shop would have to compensate 10 taels of silver. But you took out the shop. So how are you going to collect the painting? Shopkeeper Zhao was about to cry. He told Song Jinggong the whole story. Ah, painting? What painting? Is it the one with the burn marks on it? Song Jinggong asked as cold sweat dripped down his face. Yes, young master. How did you know? I haven't told you yet. Shopkeeper Zhao continued to ask. It's over. It's all over. What a ruthless Zhangjie Zhuangzi. Why did I have to cross that bridge? How much money do I have left? 50 taels of silver. Yes, I still have 50 taels of silver. I can't pay it back. What should I do? What should I do? Song Jinggong's eyes were wide open. He kept muttering, scaring shopkeeper Zhao. Without thinking, he went up and slapped Song Jinggong. With a slap, Song Jinggong finally recovered. However, his face was as white as a sheet. It was as scary as it could be. Young Master Song, have you thought of what to do? At that time, everyone said that you were a swindler. My family's young master and Miss Cuckoo said that you were a good person. At that time, I didn't believe them. But today, it seems that they were right. Young Master Song, you are a good person. At this time, Cherries didn't forget to attack Song Jinggong. She felt very satisfied. No wonder Miss Cuckoo and her young master said that Song Jinggong wasn't a swindler. As the saying goes, when the virtue rises 1 foot, the devil rises 10 feet. Monster, as expected of a monster. Sigh, young Master Song was actually quite pitiful. How did he meet someone like her young master? No wonder her young master said to give him a chance. After a while, Song Jinggong finally caught his breath. He looked at Cherries, who was smiling like a flower, and thought about what happened this time. He nodded and said, Okay, you Zhangjie Zhuangzi are amazing. Don't you still have time? I'll go raise the money now and return the money to Zhuangzi. I don't believe that you can force me to my death. Come on, can you stop everyone from lending me money? I have this recipe in my hand. What am I afraid of? Ha ha ha. Cherries looked at Song Jinggong with pity. Wei Wei shook her head and said, Young Master Song, do you really want to use that recipe to get money? My young master wants you to go to his place and meet him to talk to him face to face. Meet your little baby, who hasn't even stopped drinking milk? Are you kidding me? Does he want to eat candy? Ah, ha 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 ha, I admit it. You Zhangjie Zhuangzi have won this time. Song Jinggong heard Cherries' words and laughed mockingly. Cherry shook her head and said, It's not like that. My young master doesn't like candy. He wants to save your life. Cherries was actually even angrier. She didn't allow others to compare her young master. Who was her young master? But she still suppressed her anger and said, Save my life? Dream on. Just wait. Wait until I turn the tables. I'll make you pay back 1,000 times. Song Jinggong was so angry that his whole body was trembling. A little baby dared to say that she wanted to save his life. Okay, since young Master Song has made his decision, then don't blame my young master for not giving you face. In a while there will be a new recipe to sell. It will be very cheap. It can be said that this is a new recipe that I just thought of. It's better than young master's recipe. This can't be counted as selling more than one recipe, right? Cherry sighed and said slowly. Then she turned and left. Song Jinggong was dumbfounded. He waited until Cherries had walked more than 20 steps and was about to enter the carriage before he suddenly reacted. He shouted and chased after her. Wait, I'll go. I don't want to die. Cherry stopped and didn't turn around. Her mouth revealed a trace of a smile. She said to herself, Young Master's plan is flawless. As expected. Chapter 43. Dark clouds rolled, and strong winds blew. One could see the horizon. Lightning flashed and thunder roared, creating rain and mist as if covering the distant mountains. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan stood on a small bench, and looked out of the window. The heavy rain was pouring down, hitting the ground bit by bit. Bubbles appeared and disappeared one after another. It looked foggy. Countless small streams of water gathered together and undulated towards the low-lying areas. I originally wanted to give some carrots to the people in Zhuangzi today, but it seems that I can only wait until the weather clears up. Wang Wan said vaguely while biting a carrot stick in her mouth. Yes, I heard people say that carrots need to be cooked with oil so that people can better absorb the nutrients. How can the farmers have so much oil? Carrot seeds can produce oil by themselves, right? Zhang Xiaobao frowned when talking about the farmers. He appeared to be worried. Yes, and it's very expensive. I bought it before. Do you know how to make it? Wang Wan wiped her mouth with a handkerchief and said, drooling was a natural phenomenon. No, but I know how to make soybean oil. It's very simple. Just make a barrel-shaped thing and put the beans in it. Then, keep adding wedges and rely on physical pressure to get the oil out. What's left is the bean cake. Some wicked people use the bean cake to make tofu. It's not delicious at all. Wow, you know a lot of things. Wang Wan had never seen such a method of making soybean oil, and was a little skeptical. Zhang Xiaobao didn't argue. He just said leisurely, this is nothing. There are some old people who know a lot of things that can scare you to death. Some simple herbal prescriptions, acupuncture, cupping, scraping, the work of masons, raising livestock and looking after livestock, growing all kinds of grains, carpentry, burning charcoal, baking bricks, weaving baskets, and so on. While some people show off these as knowledge, those simple people pass it down from generation to generation. It has already become a way to survive. It's an instinct. Apart from what I just said, my grandpa Dean also knows how to draw, write calligraphy, carve, measure feng shui, heat the vats, wash the basins, wash the bowls, sharpen the scissors, and other things in the courtyard. He is also the one who does everything. As Zhang Xiaobao spoke, he seemed to be immersed in his memories. The expression on his face kept changing. In the end, he let out a long sigh and smiled at Wang Wan, telling her not to worry. It can't be. I'm not saying that no one knows these things. I'm saying that your orphanage can't even afford a bowl, right? Who still knows how to make bowls? I used to hear my parents say that when they were young, they would be beaten if they made a bowl. Later on, no one cared at all. Wang Wan was a little surprised. Let's not talk about this anymore. When there is light, there is always darkness on the other side. A good environment is nothing more than a shadowless lamp. It just makes the darkness more hidden and not easy to find. Above the shadowless lamp, there is also darkness. This time, I got a lot of money from Swindler Song. Tomorrow, I'll get someone to harvest the soybeans. I want to squeeze the oil. Zhang Xiaobao wiped away a drop of rain that blew on his face and returned to the expression of a child. He said in a relaxed manner. The two people's voices were relatively soft. Xiao Hong, who was sitting at the door, only knew what the little ancestor was talking about. She didn't know the details. Right now, she wasn't worried that the little master and his wife would be in any danger. What she needed to do was to help by the side. Today it was raining heavily outside, so she could sit here and learn how to read. This was the little master's request. Everyone in the courtyard had to be able to read and write, and be able to do simple accounts. In addition to these, Cuckoo also said that in the future, the two children in Zhuangzi would have to hire someone to teach them. All the expenses would be paid by the Zhang family and Wang family. The only requirement was that regardless of whether they succeeded in learning or not, they had to respect Zhuangzi's honor and disgrace. Xiao Hong couldn't understand how the two little ancestors thought. The things they did were always so imaginative. And these were the words of the accountants in Zhuangzi. Knowledgeable people were indeed different. When the three of them split into two groups to do their own things, Manager Zhang's voice came from the rain outside. Young Master Song, it's raining today. Look, it's so heavy. The little master can't come out to play, so he's in the room. Please wait a moment, I'll go inform him. Then I'll have to trouble you, Manager Zhang. Song Jinggong's voice sounding a little weak. Manager Zhang entered the room outside. When he walked in again, he saw Xiao Hong sitting there thinking about something. According to his usual habit, he was about to scold her. Just as he was about to speak, He looked up and saw the two little ancestors standing close to the window. He swallowed his words. He knew that the little master wasn't someone who was easy to fool. If Xiaohong didn't have the little master's permission, Xiaohong definitely wouldn't dare to do this. If he really scolded the little master's servant girl, then the consequences. Just thinking about it scared him. Song Jinggong was such a smart person. Look at how he was bullied by the little master. Steward Zhang, what's the matter? The little master and Cuckoo usually don't allow others to disturb them. Xiaohong also saw Manager Zhang and was a little scared. She put the book in her hand behind her back and said, "There's something important. Song Jinggong, young Master Song is here. He came to Zhuangzi last night and didn't dare to disturb the little master's rest. Today he came here in the rain. And go and tell him to read well. The people around the little master can't be worse than those of other families." Manager Zhang saw that Xiaohong had a book to read, so it must be the little master's arrangement. This little ancestor really didn't know how to comment. Song Jinggong was such a powerful person, but he was so scared that he didn't sleep well last night. There were still dark circles under his eyes. "And you're here? Please come in. Make the tea according to the method I taught you. This way, I can be less busy." In fact, Zhang Xiaobao had already heard Song Jinggong's voice outside, but he still waited for Xiaohong to finish before opening his mouth. Song Jinggong held an umbrella and stood in the rain, letting the rain water wet his shoes. He didn't move at all. Even when the wind blew and the rain soaked the lower half of his body, he still didn't feel anything. He kept thinking about what Cherries said when he came over yesterday. He asked Cherries which expert schemed against him. Cherries pursed her lips and said, "Why would we need an expert to scheme against you? My little master is enough. That day when you stepped on the bridge, there was no turning back. That was scary." Those who knew clearly that the bridge connected Gejia village and Zhangwang to the two Zhuangzi. Those who didn't know would think that it was the bridge of helplessness. Of course, Song Jinggong didn't believe it. In the end, Cherries reminded him, "Did you forget how you gave the money and the jade pendant that day? I Zhangjia Zhuangzi can deal with you. Sending a 1-year-old child is enough." This was the reason why Song Jinggong was conflicted. He wanted to see if that child was as powerful as Cherries said. "Master Song, my little master invites you in." Just when Song Jinggong was still thinking, Manager Zhang came out to greet him. "Okay, thank you, Manager Zhang." "Manager Zhang, wait a moment. I have some doubts in my heart and would like to ask Manager Zhang for help." Song Jinggong was just about to enter when he pulled Manager Zhang back. "Master Song, there's no harm in asking. I would like to know if what Manager Zhang and Madame Zhuang said that day outside my window was meaningful. What does it have to do with your little master?" Song Jinggong thought of some details. "Master Song, we will work together in the future. Please take care of me." Manager Zhang didn't answer the question. He gestured with his hand and turned to leave. Song Jinggong walked in with doubts. He walked around the outer room and saw that there was a cushion in the inner room. There was a small table between the cushion and the cushion. Song Jinggong naturally knew that the cushion was for him to sit on. He didn't stand on ceremony and walked in and sat down. When he looked at the cushion, there was no one. At this time, his eyes adjusted to the light in the room. He looked again and saw that the two children were standing by the window and looking at the rain outside. "Xiaobao, don't you think it's better to go out than to stay at home?" Song Jinggong heard the girl's voice. "No, it's raining heavily outside. Besides, it's tiring to hold an umbrella." Song Jinggong heard the boy's voice again. "Why hold an umbrella? Just wear a straw raincoat. Look at the mountains and watch the rain." "What's that saying again?" "Oh, it's called Ren Ping Sheng in the misty rain." The girl's voice was heard. "No, I'll get sick. When that happens, I'll be blown away by the wind and rain." The boy's voice was heard. When Song Jinggong heard this, he felt that he had come to the wrong place. This was not Zhangjia Zhuangzi. This was the Imperial Academy. In front of the window were not children, but two elementary scholars. "Ah, young Master Song is here. Sorry for the lack of manners." Xiaohong served tea. Zhang Xiaobao seemed to have just realized that there were other people in the room. He pulled Wang Wan and jumped down from the stool. The two of them walked over to the cushion and sat down to greet the guests. Well said, well said. Young Master Zhang is too engrossed. May I ask who the young lady beside young Master Zhang is? Song Jinggong unknowingly treated the two children in front of him as adults. After speaking, he realized that they were obviously two children. Oh, this is Zhang's childhood sweetheart, Wang family's cuckoo from Zhuangzi. Zhang Xiaobao gestured with his hand and introduced. Childhood sweetheart? Song Jinggong was confused again. What did that mean? Wang Wan opened her mouth at this time. It means that the two of you rode a bamboo horse and circled the bed to play with the plum blossoms. You're so stupid. How can you be a high scholar? You don't have any knowledge. If you want to cheat someone, you won't be able to do so. Wang Wan had lowered her voice towards the end of the sentence, but Song Jinggong still heard it clearly. If it was someone else who said this, he would definitely argue. Today, facing these two children, he could only feel a sense of helplessness. Where were the ancestral graves of the Zhang family and Wang family buried? At this time, Xiao Hong had already served tea. In front of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan was hot tea. In front of Song Jinggong were two types of tea, one hot and one cold. Regardless of whether it was hot or cold, they were all green, and were different from the tea that Song Jinggong had drunk before. Young Master Zhang, this is? Song Jinggong pointed at the herbal tea and asked. Iced tea. Zhang Xiaobao explained. Oh, then why am I the only one who has it? Song Jinggong asked again. Why would a person of status drink iced tea? It's just a joke. Cuckoo and I are too young to drink cold things. Zhang Xiaobao said with a smile. Chapter 44. In front of me are two children who haven't been weaned off milk. I'm not afraid. I shouldn't be afraid. They're all pretending. The adults taught them to say that. As Song Jinggong listened to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's conversation, he could feel the tone of the two children's voices. There was something inside him that kept comforting himself, telling him to clear up the situation in front of him and clear up the fog. Young Master Song, please. Zhang Xiaobao didn't give Song Jinggong a chance to adjust. Seeing that Song Jinggong was stunned, he picked up the tea and drank it. Xiaobao, the tea is a bit old. Before Ming Dynasty is the best. Wang Wan finished the tea and commented. Song Jinggong was curious and picked up the hot tea to drink. He didn't dare to pick up the herbal tea for fear of being tricked. When the tea entered his mouth, he only felt that it was bland. It didn't have any taste of salt or sugar, and it didn't have ginger or scallions to complement it. It was a bit unpleasant, but after a while, he realized that the faint bitterness of the tea was addictive. The way this tea is brewed seems to be different from others. Song Jinggong raised his head and asked after finishing the tea. Exactly. This method of drinking tea is for elegance. It's not for ordinary life. It's used for culture and not for hardship. Those with money and status can use this method. If it's just to regulate the stomach, it's better to add salt and ginger. Today, I treat it elegantly, but tomorrow, I might not use it, Zhang Xiaobao said lightly. I'm telling you, this is to pretend to be someone's identity. Decent people drink tea because they don't feel well after eating. Salt is to ensure that the body doesn't lack salt. Ginger is to stop vomiting and get rid of the cold. For people with no power or money, life is the most important. Of course, when it's time to pretend, you still have to pretend. Pretending is also a part of life. Seeing that Song Jinggong was in a daze, Wang Wan translated for him. Song Jinggong nodded. It wasn't that he didn't understand, but he didn't expect that there would be people who used tea to show their identity. If he had known, he would have one more trick up his sleeve. But this child in front of him didn't use it. Could it be that she had reached the point where she didn't want to use this method? Hearing this girl's words, what shocked him the most was the last sentence. Pretending is also a part of life. How could this be said by a 1-year-old girl? I've learned. I wonder if young Master Zhang is willing to tell me how to make this tea? I will repay you 1,000 times over. The more Song Jinggong thought about it, the more he felt that he had found a new way to deceive people. Without waiting for Xiaobao to speak, Wang Wan said, What else do you want to repay? You owe us a lot of money now. A few 100 taels of silver. How are you going to pay us back? Song's words. Nonsense tss. TTFT. I agree with everything you've done in the past. Only when you hatched the chicken did I let you down. Have you forgotten what you did in the past? Hearing Zhang Xiaobao's words, Song Jinggong shivered. It was just as this child said. At that moment he had evil thoughts. It was different from what he had decided. Thank you, young Master Zhang. But the tea's recipe? Song Jinggong still wanted to trick him. Song Jinggong, why do you disappoint me so much? Other than this kind of low-level trick, you don't know anything else? Harming others to benefit yourself and making money is a low-level path. Helping others to benefit yourself is a low-level path. Helping the country and the people to make money is the true path. Are you going to hang around in the low-level path? Zhang Xiaobao saw that Song Jinggong still wanted to make money by cheating. He was really disappointed. If he could cheat, why would he use Song Jinggong? Song Jinggong put down the teacup and looked at the child in front of him. He suddenly felt awkward, especially when he saw the disdainful and disappointed look on the child's face. He then looked at the girl next to him. It was as if she had expected better from him. Song Jinggong felt that when he faced the two children, he was facing his examiner. He couldn't help but feel a sense of loss. I wonder what kind of person young Master Zhang is. Song Jinggong didn't give up and asked again. Xiaobao doesn't need to tell you this. I'll tell you. Neither left, right, nor middle. It is the middle. When Wang Wan said this, she turned her head away and didn't want to look at Song Jinggong. At this moment, Song Jinggong was really convinced. He understood that these two children could trick him without any effort. They were not children. They could clearly be his teachers. Young Master Zhang, I am stupid. I hope you can enlighten me in the future. Song Jinggong lowered his attitude. Enlighten what? The more you listen, the more you see. The more you do, the more you think. And the more you ask. That is knowledge. I don't have an advisor by my side, so there will always be something wrong when I do things. I wonder if Master Song. There is no end to learning. The one who has reached the top is the teacher. From now on, I am at your service. Song Jinggong already understood that if the first few sentences could be taught, then the following questions couldn't be taught by anyone. Even if Zhuge Liang was alive, he couldn't. Everything was from the heart of these two children. These two children were not ordinary people. Moreover, he was in debt. His life and death depended on them. If he didn't rely on them now, when would he? Was he really going to disappoint them and use ruthless methods? Thinking of this, Song Jinggong understood that they didn't want him to die. They just wanted one more person to do things for them. Song Jinggong felt that it was not shameful to work for someone who had won. Literature was easy to come by, but if he lied, he would go bankrupt. Really? Having young Master Song is as good as having a pipe. I will have to trouble young Master Song in the future. Zhang Xiaobao still had to do what he had to do. Young Master, you can call me Zijin in the future. Song Jinggong said. Wang Wan turned her head and said, so young Master Song's name is Zijin. Since you have the heart to sacrifice for the common people, then you have to do it well in the future. Xiaobao, leave the matter of the soybean oil to Zijin. Song Jinggong was really speechless. He just said a word, and a 1-year-old child immediately recited the book of songs. He looked at the two children again. No matter how he looked at them, they were so compatible. If they could be like this at the age of 1, how would they be when they grew up? All right, brother Zijin. In that case, I will have to trouble you. I want to use the beans to make some oil, and exchange it for the farmers to eat the carrots you brought, which are ganshuan. You are selling them at a higher price. They are not worth 1 copper coin per caddy. 1 copper coin per caddy is more like 2 caddies. At this moment, Zhang Xiaobao also spoke. He wanted to sell the carrots at half the price. Song Jinggong felt like a fool. He shook his head and said, impossible. I bought them for 1 copper coin per caddy. No one eats them here. In front of us, it's only about whether we want to do it or not. There's nothing impossible. Wang Wan said with certainty. All right, then how do we make the oil? Beans have oil too. Light a lamp? Song Jinggong had to admit that she was better than him. Don't light a lamp. Eat it. It's the same as meat oil. Let's harvest the beans first. We can talk about the rest later. Wang Wan interrupted. Song Jinggong naturally did not refute. He just had to do as she said. He was thinking about the matter of harvesting the beans and left. 5 days later, the sun was shining brightly. Ernie came back with a basket in his hand to look for Zhang Xiaobao. "Little master, the sauce is out. This is what you want. Take a look. What do you think?" Ernie took out a dozen small jars from the basket and placed them in front of Zhang Xiaobao. "Brother Zijin, do you know what this is?" After Zhang Xiaobao saw the things, he smiled and said to Song Jinggong, who was next to him. Song Jinggong looked at it and said, "Yes, I know. Bring the pancakes over." Zhang Xiaobao said to Cherries next to him. Cherries had already prepared the pancakes. These days, she had been preparing pancakes every day. When she heard the sound, she immediately went to get it and placed it in front of Zhang Xiaobao. "Brother Zijin, please spread the sauce on the pancakes." Zhang Xiaobao handed over a pair of chopsticks and said. Song Jinggong was puzzled and did as Zhang Xiaobao said. Then he looked at Zhang Xiaobao. Seeing the little boy make an eating gesture, Song Jinggong did not hesitate at all and directly put it in his mouth and took a big bite. "Delicious! How did you make this thing? Little Gongzi, did you make it?" After Song Jinggong took a bite, he said to Zhang Xiaobao and then ate the whole pancake. As soon as he finished eating, Xiaohong sent a bowl of egg and spinach soup. Scallions were fried in oil and floated on top of it. After drinking a mouthful, the fragrance lingered in his mouth. "Little Gongzi, did you make this thing?" Song Jinggong smacked his lips twice and asked in disbelief. "It's not me, it's Erniu. Have you harvested enough soybeans? In the future, you will sell this sauce. I will give you a few recipes to use this sauce to cook. You will sell it for at least 50 copper coins per caddy." Zhang Xiaobao also dipped his finger in the sauce and tasted it, and said to Song Jinggong, No, it's Little Gongzi. Little Gongzi told me how to make it. It's not me, it's really not me." Ernie really hadn't tasted the sauce properly. After it was done, he brought it over. Seeing the little Gongzi taking the credit for it, he shook his head vigorously to deny it. Song Jinggong saw the expressions of the two people and recalled the taste in his mouth. He said, "Little Gongzi, I, Song Jinggong, am convinced today. You don't want to take the credit, and can even make such delicious things. Don't worry. I will sell it for 100 copper coins per caddy." "Don't, if you really sell it that expensive, you will be cheating me. You can only sell it for 50 copper coins per caddy. Wait until I get the soybean oil and fry it in oil. Then you can sell it for 100 copper coins. We are doing business, don't cheat me." Zhang Xiaobao saw Song Jinggong's expression and knew what he was thinking. He immediately rejected the suggestion and looked at Erniu and said, "Now I will give you a new task. Put the bean paste into the sauce as well, and split it into 2 different types. Remember to keep it a secret. Little Gongzi, don't worry. I, Erniu, will definitely do it well. I will leave now." Erniu said and turned to leave. Song Jinggong used his hand to scoop out some meat from the sauce and put it on his tongue. He asked, "Why does it have a special taste? It seems to be spicy." "It's the same as the chicken hatching recipe you bought. You always have to have something better to sell to something worse," Zhang Xiaobao said with a smile. Chapter 45. Song Jinggong carefully sized up Zhang Xiaobao, then rolled up another piece of pancake and slowly ate it. He seemed to be savoring it, but it wasn't just the pancake and chili sauce. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't disturb him. They tore off a thin piece of cake, dipped it in the sauce and ate it carefully. "The taste is still not good enough." Wang Wan licked her fingers and smacked her lips. "Yes, I think so too. Don't fry it. Count it as raw sauce. It'll be good after it's fried." Zhang Xiaobao nodded in agreement. "We'll fry it later and eat it at noon. Send some to my family too. Last night, my mother came to give us peaches," Wang Wan said after eating the pancake. Zhang Xiaobao just finished eating and nodded. "Yes, definitely send it. But there's no soybean oil, so the taste is much worse. Last time when I went to the kitchen, I saw there was still some butter. Let's use that. Think of a way to make sauce with a cow when it dies. We need to keep it for farming. The cows on Zhuangzi are not allowed to fall. It's cheaper to buy an old cow to fall," Wang Wan added. At this moment, Song Jinggong had mixed feelings in his heart. From the words of the manservant who just left, he already knew that the sauce was made by the little boy in front of him. He was really ridiculous at that time. He even wanted to swindle money. Look at him, he could come up with one idea after another when doing business. He didn't lose unjustly at all. They weren't at the same level at all. He was only 1 year old. Could it be that he was the reincarnation of a saint? Listening to the words of the two children, they were obviously adults. How were they children who hadn't been weaned yet? No wonder Ying Tao was so proud when she talked about the little master and Miss Cuckoo. If she had such a master, she would be the same. Alright, I won't fight in the future. I'll just be an advisor to this little brat. Perhaps I'll be able to see more interesting things by following him. Just when Song Jinggong was thinking about this, Zhang Xiaobao asked Xiao Hong to go to the kitchen to get something. She just came back at this time. After thinking about this, Song Jinggong watched Zhang Xiaobao put some shredded onion and cucumber on the cake and spread the sauce. He said to him, "Taste this. Brother Zijin, try this. In the future, I'm going to sell this to various restaurants and snack bars. And I'll only sell the sauce. Even if it's slightly more expensive, people will still be able to accept it. After all, once the soybean oil is squeezed out, only our family will have it. Me and Kaiwan are still young, so we can't eat so much." The cake was small. Song Jinggong didn't feel full after eating 2 pieces. Besides, he hadn't eaten anything since yesterday afternoon. He was hungry. He didn't stand on ceremony. He took the cake and ate it in a few mouthfuls. He sighed happily. He rolled 2 more pieces and said while eating, "Little master, in the future, Zijin will go wherever you say. Please don't close the restaurant. It's small, but it can support 3 families." "Zijin, what are you talking about? Naturally, Zijin is in charge of the restaurant. I'm so young. How can I manage so many things? This cake is delicious. In the future, I'll let people set up a small stall to sell it. It's like the spring plate, but I'll add some dishes that haven't been cooked yet." Zhang Xiaobao looked at Song Jinggong. Seeing that he didn't seem to be lying, he said more. He wasn't afraid that someone would lie to him. He didn't lack the ability to control his subordinates. Song Jinggong was still eating. This kind of food was too delicious. It was refreshing and spicy. The more he ate, the more he wanted to eat. He didn't stop until he couldn't eat anymore. He looked at the 2 children in front of him and said, "Okay, I'm full. I'll go and harvest the soybeans." After saying that, Song Jinggong stood up and was about to leave. Zhang Xiaobao suddenly said, "Wait, it's raining and cold outside. Zijin, take care of yourself. Xiao Hong, have you warmed the wine with ginger? Bring it to Zijin to drive away the cold. Sorry to trouble Zijin. Cuckoo and I are still too young. There are many things that we can't do. It's all up to Zijin to take care of things outside. Thank you for your hard work. Cuckoo and I thank you." After saying that, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan bowed and thanked Song Jinggong together. They used their small hands to tremble as they brought the wine in front of Song Jinggong. Song Jinggong listened to Zhang Xiaobao's words and looked at her weak little hand. He took the warm wine. Before he even drank, he felt a warmth in his heart. He tilted his head back and drank the wine. He cupped his hands and said, "You treat me like a national hero. I will repay you like a national hero. Goodbye." After saying that, Song Jinggong turned and left. He didn't even open an umbrella. He rushed into the pouring rain. His legs were steady and powerful. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan followed him to the door. They watched as Song Jinggong's figure disappeared. Only then did they turn back. Suddenly they saw Xiao Hong there. Her eyes were red. They asked in surprise, "Xiao Hong, what happened to you? Did the ginger sting you? Quickly wash it with water." "No, I'm fine. I just feel comfortable in my heart. Young master treats people so well. Whether it's cherries, pomegranate me, or that young master song. Young master treats them all with sincerity." For Xiao Hong to be arranged to be by young master's side is Xiao Hong's fortune. Xiao Hong shook her head. Before she finished speaking, tears flowed down. Although she was young, she knew the fickleness of human nature. The little young master was not only smart, but he also treated people well. Following such a master, She must have accumulated good karma in her previous life. Don't cry, don't cry. The good days are still ahead. There's still some biscuits. Eat it while it's hot. Help me taste what it's missing. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked at each other and sighed inwardly. The people here were so good. And it's delicious. Young master's food is delicious. I knew it when I smelled it. Xiao Hong rubbed her eyes and nodded fiercely. She helped the two children back to the couch and praised before eating. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not say anything. Seeing Xiao Hong eat 3 biscuits, they said, Xiao Hong, when the rain stops, you have other things to do. Find someone to dig the low-lying area near the Zhuangzi River. Make a hole in the river and let the water in. Raise more ducks and geese on Zhuangzi. Plant some lotus flowers. When winter comes, there will be a lot of vegetables. And Xiao Hong understands. Little young master, don't worry. There are many people on the farm. As long as we provide them with a meal, they will come to work. We'll start digging tomorrow, Xiao Hong promised. Wang Wan shook her head. Not only do we have to provide them with food, but we also have to pay them. Set a number and go back to get it. In the future, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan will open a grocery store in Zhuangzi. It will make it convenient for the people on the farm to buy and exchange goods. It's not for making money, but it will make it easier for the people on Zhuangzi to walk. Xiao Hong thanks you on behalf of my parents, on behalf of Zhuangzi, for your benevolence and righteousness. Xiao Hong was full of energy. Thinking about the future, she felt that the rain outside was so pleasant. The next day, white clouds, bright sun, clear river, and children were playing happily. All the laborers on Zhuangzi were called over by Xiao Hong. They took their tools and started working without caring about the mud after the rain. It was as if they didn't know what fatigue was. At this time, the big pot on the side was set up by Xiao Hong. Fragrant big bones were cooking in it. Some people were kneading the dough and preparing pancakes. The sauce was also put aside. The shredded pork was also fried in oil. They were just waiting to reheat the pot when it was time to eat. Shredded onions were added to the pancakes to make it taste even better. This was what Wang Wan told her. She loved shredded pork with sauce. Brothers and uncles, do your job well. You have to be worthy of little young master's 3 copper coins a day. When noon comes, the pancakes and rolls will be enough to eat. Xiao Hong stood at the side and shouted. She even knew how to boost morale. The people working had already smelled the fragrance in the pot. They swallowed their saliva and dug with all their might. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also stood not far away and watched. This was also a way to rally people's hearts. The future days will be better. Xiaobao, I want to make Zhang family and Wang family's Zhuangzi into a paradise. The old will be taken care of, the young will be educated, and every family will build a new house. Everyone will be able to eat and wear warm clothes. It won't be difficult, right? Wang Wan had a yearning look on her face. It's not difficult for only 2 Zhuangzi, but I plan to make the place bigger in the future. There will be more things to take care of. I need to train some people. What we need to do is to give them hope and confidence. When the time comes, you can train the family servants. Zhang Xiaobao was also calculating. He also wanted to let the people on Zhuangzi live a good life. Little young master, do you still eat toads? Just as Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were thinking about the future, a child in the river mustered up the courage to ask. Zhang Xiaobao knew that these children still wanted to exchange for some benefits. He nodded and then shook his head. I want to eat, but not toads. You guys get me some river snails. When it's time to eat, you can also eat with me. You can also take a portion back. When Zhang Xiaobao said this, the children cheered. One by one, they dove into the water and began to feel for river snails. They all knew what was cooking in the pot. There was also the stir-fried shredded meat. They could eat one portion and take another portion back home. It was too easy to just get some river snails. Xiaobao, there are parasites in river snails. I heard that some people ate them so much that they grew worms in their brains. Wang Wan was a little disgusted by this thing. Don't be afraid. When we go back, put some salt in clear water and blanch it twice. Then mix it with coriander, onion and garlic. Let's eat with my father's wine. I'll also send a portion to your family. We'll drink some soup. That thing is too hot to chew. Zhang Xiaobao had already thought of what to do. Then we'll eat it tomorrow. We'll keep it today, and let the river snails expel the things in their stomach. Hurry up and make the cake. Otherwise, we won't be able to eat anything. Wang Wan was depressed when she thought of her age. The children moved quickly. In half an hour, they had found a large basin of river snails. They asked someone to put them in a wooden basin and send them back. They found Xiao Hong and asked her to prepare food for the children at noon. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also went back to train. Ernio woke up early in the morning and ate some porridge. He and his brother Daniel took the small jar of hot sauce and found a car. They went to Sanshui County. Because it was next to a river that was not small, there were many people coming and going. There were also many hotels. Today, Ernio was going to sell hot sauce. In order to sell it at a good price, Ernio obeyed the little child's instructions and baked some cakes and shredded onions. They hurried all the way and finally arrived at Sanshui County when it was almost noon. Brother, how do you sell it? Do we need to shout? Daniel was not as clever as Ernio. He was more honest and didn't know what to do when he arrived. No need. The little child has already arranged it. Let's go to the Waterview restaurant over there. His restaurant and the Byway Pavilion beside it are the two biggest restaurants in the county. Both are competing for customers. We're not afraid that they won't buy it. Ernio thought of the little child's words. He wanted to find two competing restaurants to sell his chili sauce. So he set his eyes on the two famous restaurants in Sanshui County. When the car stopped in front of the Waterview restaurant, Ernio and Dania jumped off the car with their things and walked inside. There was already a waiter at the door who arranged the parking position of the car. He led the two people who he thought were going to eat inside and talked while walking. Two guests, do you want to drink or stay? I heard from the shopkeeper that the head chef of our restaurant learned from the imperial chef. Well, it's good to learn from the imperial chef. Is your boss here? Please find a single room on the second floor. We have something important to discuss with your boss. Ernio wore a suit of good clothes today. He was confident and straightened his chest. He talked to the waiter in the most dignified tone he thought. Yes. Please go upstairs. I'll ask the shopkeeper to come here. The waiter didn't know what the two were doing. Seeing that they ordered a single room on the second floor, he respectfully invited them upstairs. When the two entered, he asked another waiter to come and serve them. He then ran to find the shopkeeper. The new waiter served tea and waited at the side. Ernio and Daniel were afraid of spending money, so they didn't order anything. They just sat there and waited. After about 30 minutes, the owner of the Waterview restaurant hurried over. He was not surprised to see the two people waiting for nothing. He politely greeted them. I'm the owner of the Waterview restaurant. May I know what brings you here? Have some tea. Ernio was a little nervous. After all, this was the first time he met the owner of a big restaurant. He followed the method taught by the little child. He slowly took 2 deep breaths and silently said, I can do it. Only then did he feel better. He put the things on the table with his brother, opened the thin cloth wrapped in it, and took out the jar of sauce. Today, I'm here to ask the shopkeeper to try this. While speaking, Ernio put the hot pancake on the table, smeared a layer of chili sauce on it, and put the spring onions inside. He used the chopsticks to roll it up little by little. After finishing this, he made 2 more pancakes. He gave one to his brother, and took one for himself. Shopkeeper, please. After saying that, Ernio and Daniel ate directly, indicating that the shopkeeper didn't have any poison. Besides, they were really hungry. They only had a little porridge since the morning. The shopkeeper looked at the 2 people in front of him eating, and then the pancake in front of him. He already knew what they were here for. However, he could make the pancake just by looking at it. There was no need to share the benefits with others. After thinking about it, he took a bite of the pancake. The moment the pancake entered his mouth, the shopkeeper was immediately surprised. What kind of sauce was this? It was delicious and had a fresh, spicy taste. No wonder the 2 dared to come here to sell things. So that's why. Thinking of this, the shopkeeper put down the pancake in his hand. It's okay. It's edible. Leave the recipe of this sauce. I can give you 200 coins. Ernio and Daniel were stunned. Thinking of what the little child said when they came out, they admired the little child even more. He could even calculate this. At the moment, Erniu and Daniu stood up at the same time, put away the unrolled pancake and sauce, and turned around to leave. Ernia said while walking, "The shopkeeper really knows the goods. In that case, we'll go to the byway pavilion to eat first. When we come back, we'll tell you the recipe in detail." "Wait a minute. Since you two are here, how can you eat elsewhere?" Liuzi quickly asked the chef behind to make the signature dishes and send them here. "I'll accompany the two distinguished guests to eat." When the shopkeeper heard this, he immediately understood. He was not stupid. Seeing that the two were about to leave, he quickly stepped forward to stop them and invited them back. Today there is only one chapter with 4,000 words. Tomorrow, there will be another chapter with 3,000 words. That means there will be 3 chapters tomorrow. I need to recommend and collect them. Thank you. Chapter 46. Ernia's negotiation in Waterview Restaurant was very successful. Not only did he sell the chili sauce, but he also made another deal with Waterview Restaurant. That was, some new dishes that required chili sauce would appear in Zhuangzi from time to time. Every time a new dish appeared, Waterview Restaurant would have to spend a sum of money, and they had to find someone to guarantee it. When the manager invited them to eat, the first dish, braised carrots, was decided on the spot. Not only did they have to pay to cook this dish, but they also had to buy the carrots and chili sauce from Zhuangzi, which were not sold anywhere else. The price of the carrots was relatively cheap, 5 copper coins per kilogram. The price of the sauce was slightly more expensive. After all, there was meat in it, 12 copper coins per kilogram. After the negotiation in Waterview Restaurant, Erniu and Daniu went to Byway Pavilion next door. This time, they didn't even see the manager, and were directly sent out by the manager in the lobby. They were not in a hurry, which was in line with the young master's calculation. When the dishes in Waterview Restaurant were sold well, Byway Pavilion would ask for it, and then the price would be different. After the two sold the sauce, they found a small restaurant in Sanshui County that was not well run, and directly bought it with money. They didn't drive away the original owner, and invited him to take care of the restaurant. When the restaurant was settled, several carts of carrots that were not shipped away that day were sent to the restaurant. The previous dishes were unchanged, but 8 new dishes made of carrots were added. After that, Daniu and Erniu could finally have some free time. They stayed in the room behind the restaurant and went back in 2 days. This time, dozens of kilograms of chili sauce were shipped, which was enough for Waterview Restaurant to sell for a few days. When they went back, there were new things for them to do. At Tuqiao Village, the construction site of Zhangjia Zhuangzi was in full swing at the moment. The villagers were working hard to dig. After the meal, they rested for less than a quarter of an hour under Zhang Xiaobao's repeated request. Zhang Xiaobao was afraid that they would get sick if they ate too much. He rolled up the pancakes with shredded pork and chili sauce and shredded green onions in 2 bites. He scooped out the cooked bones and dipped them in the garlic sauce. It was delicious. He sprinkled some chopped green onions and coriander on the oily soup. He gulped down half a bowl of soup in 1 gulp. Seeing this, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were both tempted. In the end, they couldn't help but ask for a big bowl of soup. They broke the pancakes into pieces and soaked them in the soup. The pieces were smaller than their fingernails, and so were the coriander and spring onions. After the soup cooled down, they each drank a mouthful. Because there was soup to drink, Zhang Xiaobao wasn't so worried that the workers couldn't hold on. When the time came, the soup would be directly discharged. Xiaohong also ate at the side. She was responsible for getting the bone marrow for the 2 young masters. She poked out a soft bone marrow with chopsticks and dipped it in a little salt. It was just right for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to eat. It had a little oily taste, a little bone fragrance, and a little fishy taste. It was very comfortable to eat. The most important thing was that they didn't have to worry about their teeth falling out. It's delicious. When there are many people eating, it's more delicious. These bones are also good. Xiaohong, remember, don't throw away the bones that have been eaten. Zhang Xiaobao ate 2 bones and stopped eating. He was afraid that he would be disgusted if he ate too much, so he called Xiao Hong again. I know, young master. Let's keep the bones that have been eaten. We can cook them at night. It's impossible to finish digging the pond in one day. Tomorrow at noon, put in some new bones and continue eating. Xiao Hong seemed to have experience. When the other people who were eating heard this, they all nodded. Not to mention working on Zhuangzi, it was the same for their own families. They were already satisfied to be able to eat with the young master and cuckoo. That's not what he meant. Wang Wan also stopped eating and said, Xiao Bao is saying that we should keep the bones and grind them into powder. They can be used for many things such as feeding the chickens, fertilizing the ground, raising earthworms, and so on. My Zhuangzi doesn't lack a meal for them, so I'll cook new ones at night. As soon as she said this, the expressions of the villagers on Zhuangzi changed. They didn't expect this young lady and young master to be so kind and righteous. The villagers were all honest and didn't know how to say anything nice. They could only remember the 2 children's words and do well in the future. Xiao Hong naturally wouldn't persuade them anymore. The money for the meal came from the young master's own storage. The young master wasn't afraid of spending too much. She was willing to let the villagers eat well. The children who were fishing for river snails also ate with them. The children's stomachs were small, so they couldn't eat as much as the adults. They ate until their stomachs were round, and they wanted to eat more. But they couldn't eat anymore. They could only look at the food anxiously. If you can't eat, then don't eat. You'll be stuffed. Xiao Hong gave the children oiled paper to pack according to their appetite. She thought that the children couldn't eat it at home, and gave it to their families. One of the children, called Ertzi, nodded helplessly. I just want to eat more. It's best to eat tomorrow's lunch too. I won't eat tonight. I'll bring it back for my sister. It's okay. Life will be better in the future. Zhang Xiaobao smacked his lips and said lightly. Only Wang Wan knew how much determination he had when he said this. The villagers continued to work. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan returned home and started to exercise. The children had soft bones and weren't fully grown yet. They couldn't do vigorous running and jumping movements, and could only adapt bit by bit. The only good thing was that the children recovered quickly. If they were so tired that they couldn't speak that day, they would be just as lively the next day. Today Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were going to exercise rolling. They asked Xiao Hong to bring a blanket and spread it on the ground. The 2 of them rolled back and forth on it. This could also help them exercise a lot. It was still too wet outside, so they couldn't go out and walk on the sand. Xiaobao, let's rest for a while. Let's talk about something. We're all in a daze from rolling. Wang Wan turned over and leaned on Zhang Xiaobao's body. What do you want to talk about? Zhang Xiaobao was also sweating. I think the road leading to Zhuangzi is not easy to walk on. Should we take out some money to repair the road? Change always starts from the people around you. Let the people in Zhuangzi feel this and cultivate cohesion. Wang Wan reached out and took a sip of water from Xiao Hong. I don't have money. I still need to buy rice and noodles with the little money I earned. There's still a month to go before the wheat harvest. I have to buy more. Whether or not we can keep our family's land, and by whose title depends on this. Zhang Xiaobao refused without thinking. The road could be repaired at any time. It wasn't impossible to buy grain. He had a big operation to exchange for his family's position. When he collected grain, he still needed the cooperation of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Forget it. Tomorrow, I'll ask Cherries to collect some duck and goose eggs. Since we're going to raise them, we have to get some. Wang Wan bypassed this matter and started to plan. Zhang Xiaobao nodded. Yes, we have to raise them all, especially the ducks. By next spring, it would be best if we have a few thousand ducks. Let's see who dares to buy our land. Take a bath and sleep. This was the end of the topic for the time being. Little Red had already prepared hot water. She placed the 2 children in the hot water to wash off the sweat on their bodies. Then, she carried them to the couch and covered their navels with a blanket. She could sit at the door and read again. At night, Song Jinggong finally came back with a lot of soybeans. As soon as he entered the vicinity of Zhuangzi, he saw people transporting carts of carts. He didn't know where they were going. Curious, he stopped one of them and asked, "Where are you transporting them?" Exanping City. Store them there. After a few days, there will be people coming here to buy them. We can sell them directly. The driver knew Song Jinggong. After being tricked by the young master, he was willing to work for Zhuangzi. Oh, how much are you selling them for? Song Jinggong was not surprised. He just wanted to know the price. 5 coins per caddy. Ernie has already gone to Sanshui County to sell them. It seems like he sold them. Otherwise, Ernie would be in a hurry to come back. How much? 5 coins per caddy. Does that mean I sold them cheaply? Song Jinggong was a little dumbfounded. He thought that he had sold them at such a high price to cheat others. He didn't expect that the young master would sell them at such a high price. He actually sold them at such a high price. This was too miraculous. How did he manage to sell them? Before he could figure it out, the driver continued to talk. The young master said that these are not easy to preserve. Keep the slightly better ones and put them in a cellar. In winter, they will be sold for 10 coins per caddy. In winter, there are fewer vegetables. Everyone can eat fresh. Song Jinggong didn't know how he walked back to the courtyard. His heart was filled with piles of copper coins. If he couldn't fit them all, he would exchange them for silk and shiny silver. After all, he had plenty of money. Before he entered, he saw the young master and the young master eating and drinking with a group of villagers. As the villagers had a lot of work, Zhang Xiaobao was afraid that they would suddenly tire themselves out and feel uncomfortable the next day, especially when they stepped on the muddy ground. Some of the puddles were even higher than their feet. It was easy to fall sick if they went back. He specially asked Xiao Hong to prepare some wine. Everyone drank 2 bowls during the meal. The wine had been warmed with ginger. It was good to get rid of the cold and increase blood circulation. This treatment was too good. There was wine and meat. The villagers felt warm in their hearts. If it wasn't for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan not allowing them to continue working at night, they would have lit the torches and continued digging. How much did this meal cost? All of them didn't want to be paid. Young master, how did you sell those carrots? At first, I thought it was a scam for 1 copper coin per caddy. Could it be that you found someone easy to cheat? Song Jinggong didn't care whether the others drank or not. He ran over to find out. Why should I cheat? Carrots are not bad. When you sell them, you just have to teach them how to cook. When everyone knows how to eat them, the food will naturally be more expensive. Besides, carrots are good for the body and taste good. Zhang Xiaobao wanted to change Song Jinggong's mindset of deceiving people whenever they encountered something. Seeing that Song Jinggong had returned, he knew that he must have not eaten dinner yet, so he greeted him again. Zijin must be tired these 2 days. Quick, eat while it's hot. Xiao Hong, get some meat for Zijin. Dip it in the garlic sauce. It'll go well with the wine. As he spoke, he and Wang Wan moved to the side to make room for Song Jinggong. As for whether Song Jinggong was willing or not, there was no need to consider. If he could eat with the villagers, what could he do? Chapter 47. Summer slowly passed and autumn came, and it gradually cooled down. The pond on Zhuangzi had been dug, and the water from the river was channeled into it. Cherries collected a lot of duck eggs and goose eggs, and they were all placed on the Kong to hatch. A group of chicks chased and played back and forth in the yard. These days, they didn't need to be fed porridge, and they could eat something hard. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked at the chicks enviously. They couldn't eat things that were too hard now. They had to hold the pancakes in their mouths for a while before they could swallow them. The meat could only be stewed into pieces, but they could eat some fish. Chicks grow faster than people. They can eat sand after a few days out of the shell. Pomegranates things also need to be ground quickly. I thought of something good. Zhang Xiaobao pinched a bug in the flowers next to the yard in his hand and put it on the ground. The chicks immediately came to eat it. The bug was bigger. It was a kind of green insect that was about to form a cocoon. There were many things like eyes on it. After eating for a summer, it had already become fat. The chicks held it in their mouths and shook their heads vigorously. There were also chicks coming over to fight for food. Several chicks eliminated the bug in 2 or 3 seconds. What idea? Wang Wan was not like other girls who were afraid of bugs. She didn't care at all. Instead, she was interested in Zhang Xiaobao's idea. Actually, it's nothing much. I just want to get something for my grandparents and your grandparents to eat. Last night, your family came to my house and kissed me with saliva all over my face. I want to get some bone marrow and grind the bones into powder to make oil tea noodles. I want to put in some walnuts or something. Zhang Xiaobao saw Wang Wan's grandparents yesterday. Both of them were not in good health. They stayed there and kept rubbing their legs. It seemed that they were lacking calcium. What's the use of it? Can it be absorbed? Wang Wan was a little grateful to Zhang Xiaobao. After all, it was good to have a predecessor in this life. The elders of both families were still around. This was the greatest happiness. I think so. If it's calcium supplements, it's just calcium and vitamin A. Pure calcium can't be extracted, but there are still other edible things. For example, the oil from fish liver, or the layer on top of milk and goat's milk after it has been boiled. You can just add it in. Alright, let's do that. When our two families are done eating, we'll take it out and sell it. There are so many things in there. Who knows what the formula is? It can even treat night blindness. Eat it first. When I'm free, we'll sell it in bulk. Zhang Xiaobao planned. He squatted down and touched Chick. Chick was not afraid. It tilted its head and looked at Zhang Xiaobao curiously. Let's also drink it. The formula needs to be adjusted. If there's too much calcium, something bad will happen. Remove the walnuts temporarily for adults. It's too oily and easy to cause cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases. Let them drink more tea at ordinary times. I heard that ginkgo is good. Good things should be used by our own people first. Wang Wan agreed. She and Zhang Xiaobao recently increased the amount of exercise to continue to supplement nutrition, especially high-calorie things. Xiao Hong listened on the side. She didn't understand some of the things that the little child and his wife said every day. She only knew that as long as they talked seriously and helped each other to correct each other, the final thing was definitely something powerful. Chick was full and ran away in the blink of an eye. Ernie hurried back at this time. As soon as he entered the yard, he said excitedly, "Little child, it's good news." Little child, good news. The owner of the Byway Pavilion went to my brother and me yesterday and said that he wanted to buy the chili sauce. I sold it to him for 2 more coins as you told me, and the carrot was the same. When he went back, he drove the steward away and said that he had to pay a lot of money. Little child, the boss of the Byway Pavilion wants to buy 500 don of carrots from us at the price of 7 coins per kilogram. Do you want to sell it? It's a lot of money all of a sudden. It's much more valuable than when we exchanged it. 500 don. His appetite is not small, and he is also shrewd. When you go back and tell him that there are not many carrots left, we can sell him 20 don of carrots at most, which is more than 2,000 kilograms. It's enough for him to sell until winter. After a few days, the price will increase. At this time, there was no need for Zhang Xiaobao to speak. Wang Wan made the decision. She still knew such a simple thing. The boss just wanted to wait for the price to increase in the future. Well, that's it. If you want it, you can help me to transport it. It's too late to go back and forth. Ernie, let Dania do it first. It's the same to sell the sauce. You can prepare in these 2 days. After the autumn harvest, you can collect more food for me. I will give you money, the more the better. In a few days, the grain harvest would begin. Zhang Xiaobao really had no one around him. What's more, he couldn't collect in one place. It was easy to attract the attention of the government. He should have a share, his mother should have a share, and Wang Wan should have a share. Song Jinggong could be sent to a farther place to collect. I understand. Little Gongzi, you can rest assured. I will do whatever you ask me to do. Ernie changed his original clever appearance and pretended to be simple and honest. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan both laughed. If Ernie was simple and honest, how many clever people would be left? After another 2 days, Pomegranate turned all the things she picked up and the things she bought at a low price into powder. At this time she couldn't feed them. It was a bit wasteful. She had to wait for the grain to be finished and mix in the coarse bran and wheat bran. Cherries made a connected Kong bed by herself. The Kong bed was full of eggs, duck eggs and goose eggs. A batch of chicks had hatched and were taken away by Sangrini. She also sold him some special feed to feed the chickens on the road. On the other side of the earthworm farm, Pomegranate also arranged people to buy rotten firewood and feces from various families and put them there. Below were the earthworms dug by the children. There would be a lot more earthworms next year. Only Little Red had nothing to do. She listened to Zhang Xiaobao and caught some fish that could withstand the cold. She threw them into the pond and left them alone. The ducks and geese were not in position yet. Even though she was envious of others, she knew that she still had to wait. Song Jinggong's matter was easy. After all, he used to take care of a lot of things. It was very simple to buy some soybeans and find a reliable person in Zhuangzi to extract the oil. The oil yield was relatively low. It was not 15% as Zhang Xiaobao expected. It would reach 10%, but it was a problem of craftsmanship. After squeezing the oil, the remaining bean cakes were not wasted. They were sent directly to Ernyo's family and asked them to keep them to make chili sauce. Everything was waiting for the next year to play a role. At present, only the chili sauce and carrots could be profitable. The two shops in Sanshui County did not have much income in comparison. Autumn is coming. When the first leaf fell, Zhang Xiaobao stood by the river outside. He looked at the withered yellow in front of him and sighed. Yes, they will harvest tomorrow. Fortunately, it didn't rain. When the golden yellow filled the eyes, I found that not only were the clouds in the sky gone, but also some memories that I was afraid of, but didn't want to forget. Wang Wan's eyes stared at the flowing water. Looking at the clouds in the sky, she was a little homesick. At this time, she felt the existence of Zhang Xiaobao. She knew that she would not be so lonely if she had a person to accompany her. She was grateful, or rather they were together. It should snow in winter. We will make a big snowman then. Even if it melts in spring, there will be snowmen every year. Zhang Xiaobao did not know how to comfort Wang Wan. He had no regrets. If it were in that world, he would not have lived until now. Well, let's go back. Set up the swing and exercise the adaptability to the height. Why can't you study science and engineering? There are such talents in prison, right? I also want an electric light. It's too dark at night. Wang Wan pulled on her clothes, turned around and walked back. Some things needed to be adapted to, but still needed to be adapted to. Don't be afraid. We have money this year. Prepare more candles. When the time comes, we will light this. Zhang Xiaobao knew that Wang Wan was not afraid of the dark, but afraid of dreams. Why don't you know how to comfort me more? I am a child now. Wang Wan deliberately said to liven up the atmosphere. Zhang Xiaobao smiled. I have been doing it, just like the song I eavesdropped on. It was by the window of a small school. When I went back last year, you had just put on new cotton gowns. When I come to see you today, you have become fat and taller. Do you remember? The lotus in the pond changed into a lotus pod. There are not many flowers, but there is no need to worry about color. I dyed the leaves red. What song? It's so nice. How come I don't remember? Wang Wan asked in surprise. The words of West Wind belong to the elementary school appreciation class. You may not have appreciated it at that time. There are always music teachers who cut corners. When you heard it, you felt it was nice. Later on, when you grew up, you realized that it contained philosophy and hope. Zhang Xiaobao kicked a small stone, scaring the chicken that had grown up a lot and ran away. What's the point of bullying a chicken? Wang Wan's mood improved a lot. I want to bully the old yellow dog, but I am afraid that he will bite me, Zhang Xiaobao said cooperatively. Xiao Hong had been standing beside the little young master and little Miss Cuckoo. When she heard their conversation by the river, she seemed to feel that the little young master and little Miss Cuckoo were very far away from her. Only now did she realize that the two people were back. That feeling was really uncomfortable. The swing had been prepared for a long time, but it had not been set up. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan returned to the courtyard, she immediately arranged for people to set up the swing. At this time, the sky was high and the clouds were light, so it was most comfortable to swing. In order to not accidentally fall, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also specially designed something that can be stuck in front, behind, left and right, just like the up-and-down octopus that they used to play. At the beginning, as long as there was a little force, the two people could swing very high by themselves. They let out a child's laughter in the sky, scaring Xiao Hong to the point that she was very anxious. When the swing finally stopped, Xiao Hong hurriedly asked the little young master and little miss to think about other things. She asked, "Little young master, what are we eating tonight?" "What are we eating?" "Among the chicks that Cherry hatches, it's impossible that all of them are hens. She keeps the roosters somewhere else. There are only 2 here. Go and get one. Tonight, we'll eat virgin chicken." Zhang Xiaobao jumped off the swing and pulled Wang Wan into the house to read a book. Chapter 48. The next day, it was a crisp autumn day. The people from the Zhang family and Wang family in Zhuangzi started to harvest the grain in the fields. The adults tied the grain in bundles at the front and transported them to the grain-sunning field. The children held a basket and carefully picked up the ears of rice or wheat that were left behind. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's families also went over to act as a demonstration. In fact, they didn't need to do it. Everything seemed to be the same as usual. The only difference was that this year's harvesting method was different. In the past, each family collected their own grain and handed it over to Zhuangzi. This year, both Zhuangzi's families provided the meals together. Everyone started from the same field and collected the grain. They piled it up at the place where they received it and made a mark. The advantage of this was that everyone had a competition when they were working, and no one was slacking off. Everyone was watching how much they did. If they really wanted to slack off, they would be too embarrassed to even open their mouths when they were eating. At this time, Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao also watched from the side. Pieces of rice and wheat were harvested and transported away. Everyone was full of hope. Zhangjia Zhuangzi had a reward of 100 households, so they could pay 100 households less to the higher-ups. Although it was said to be 100 households, it was actually 100 people. Otherwise, if everyone combined into one household, it would be possible to produce 10,000 people. Wang Wan's family didn't have this privilege. They still had to pay what they were supposed to. When the grain is collected, give some of yours to my family. My family has to pay a lot more. Wang Wan felt that it was unfair when she thought of this. Zhangjia Zhuangzi's 100 households were better off than the Wang family's Zhuangzi, because they didn't have to pay. It was said that the Zhang family received less every year and kept more. Why? The two Zhuangzis don't have accounts together. I have my own accounts. If you want to give, take both of ours. You can't use my family's. Zhang Xiaobao immediately objected. This kind of thing could not be confused. His family did not touch his money. It was all his own. Then I'll take 200 bolts of silk from our storehouse and send them home, Wang Wan said in a fit of pique. Take it. How much is 200? 1 bolt for 200 copper coins. 2 bolts for 40,000 copper coins, 40 taels of silver. Here you go. Zhang Xiaobao had an indifferent expression on his face. Stingy. What are we going to eat today? Do you want to eat virgin chicken? Wang Wan said a few words. She didn't want to be entangled in this kind of thing. No, there's something even better today. Look at that field. What else is there besides food? There are others, Wang Wan replied. Other than humans, look, they're still flying over there. One is chasing the other, and the other is jumping. Grasshoppers will eat this today. Later, I'll get the children to help me catch them. I'll trade them with soybean oil. When we get back, I'll fry them in oil. It's fragrant and crispy. Zhang Xiaobao pointed at the grasshoppers flying back and forth in the field. He swallowed his saliva and said, Well, when we're done cutting, let them catch them. We'll also release the chicks. Cherries hatch so many chicks. They'll be able to gain a lot of meat this time. Wang Wan didn't reject this kind of thing. In the past, when she was training, she ate a lot of them. Not to mention cooked ones. Even raw ones would be stuffed into her mouth. When she bit down, a stream of green water would come out of her mouth. When it was time for lunch, there were even more people. It could be said that men and women, old and young, all went to work together. The lunch was relatively simple. There were oil cakes, fried radish slices with meat, and egg and cucumber soup. There was enough to drink. In this way, they were busy for 3 days in a row before they finished harvesting the grain on the 2 zhuangzi fields. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also continued to eat fried grasshoppers for 3 days. When the chicks were released, there weren't many grasshoppers left in the field before they could harvest the grains. Little young master, it's all thanks to the chicks on the zhuangzi fields. Otherwise, these grasshoppers would have eaten a lot this year. Don't look down on them because they're small, they can't handle a lot of them. While harvesting the grains, they have to feed the grasshoppers at the same time. Xiao Hong also ate 2 meals and felt that the taste was really good. Now, she picked up one and stuffed it into her mouth. She even sighed with emotion. The speaker didn't mean it, but the listener did. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked at each other and smiled at the same time. Wang Wan opened her mouth. Xiao Hong, go and call Steward Zhang over. Xiao Hong didn't know what the 2 little ancestors were going to do. She ran to the back and called Steward Zhang over. She began to eat again. Little young master, little miss, you 2 are looking for me? The steward was also puzzled. Yes, after crossing the bridge over there. We'll reach Gujia village, right? Their grain hasn't been finished yet, right? Wang Wan pointed in that direction. Yes, they don't have little young master and little miss like us. They don't arrange for people to harvest together. They harvest separately. They're more than a day behind us. Steward Zhang replied. Then I'll give you a task. You drive our chicks on the zhuangzi fields over there to help. It's not easy for everyone. Let the chicks eat, and help them eat some grasshoppers. It's considered good karma. We don't want any benefits and help for free. Go. Zhang Xiaobao continued to speak and put on a compassionate expression. Those who didn't know would really think that he was very kind. Of course, Steward Zhang didn't think so. What kind of people were little young master and little miss? They wouldn't do things that didn't benefit them. As soon as he heard this, he understood. The chicks on the zhuangzi fields had obviously grown in these 2 days because they ate the grasshoppers. Without hesitation, he called a few people and got 2 old hens to lead the way. A group of chicks rushed over there. Sure enough, when they arrived, they wanted to thank him. They watched the chicks eat the grasshoppers in their fields and kept talking about the kindness and righteousness of the Zhang family and Wang family in Zhuangzi. They weren't worried that the chicks would eat the grains. There were grasshoppers. Who would eat grain? It would be strenuous to use people to catch them. The chicks chased after them, as if they didn't know tiredness. Their 2 little legs kept moving, eating and pooping at the same time. They even fattened the ground. The ones who benefited the most were the farmers. The grasshoppers ate the grains, but their masters didn't care. They still had to pay the required amount. Each and every one of them took advantage of the break to thank Steward Zhang and let him have his fill. When Gu Zhuang's grasshoppers were almost finished, he drove the chicks to other zhuangzi fields. Even if the harvest was good, there were still grasshoppers in the fields. The chicks ate like this for half a month. One by one, they ate until they were fat. Their heads were almost shrunk into their necks. They walked there like small balls. Just as the little chickens were feasting on the food, both the Zhang and Wang families began to move. They went everywhere to collect grain. It was the autumn harvest, and this year's weather was not bad. The price of grain was low. The 2 farms were divided into 4 groups of people. Some were far away, some were near. They bought with money, some with silk and some with other items. Because of the trust in Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, the 2 zhuangzi put in their savings. In the end, even if they didn't make much money, they wouldn't lose money. This kind of trust made Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan sigh with emotion. Tell me, the grains are almost collected. There are warehouses everywhere in Zhuangzi. What are you going to do with the grains? Wang Wan had been thinking about this for a long time. Okay, I'll tell you. I'm going to give some of them away for free. I'm going to sell some of them at a high price elsewhere. I think there will be some left in the end. Zhang Xiaobao finally said. Where are you going to sell them? And where are you going to give them away? East of Taihang Mountain and Henan area. There are still chickens. When the time comes, I'll send some over to raise them. I'll sell the eggs there. With the money from selling the eggs, I'll buy a large amount of dried sea goods from Linhai and Shandong. Then I'll ship them back. That's another sum of money. Zhang Xiaobao squeezed his way in. You give them something that they will want. You sell it at a high price and they will buy it. The chickens will be big next year. What are they going to eat? Wang Wan also played along with Zhang Xiaobao and asked one question after another. According to the historical records, there was a drought in the 3rd year of the Kaiyuan era of the Tang Dynasty. There was a plague of locusts. This year's harvest should be relatively the same as before. But since there was a drought, there were more locusts. It will show up next year. I'm going to use the grains to exchange for the official reward. Driving the chickens to eat the locusts is considered a merit, right? We have to sell the grains secretly. We can't just give them away for free. Zhang Xiaobao finally explained his plan. Wang Wan nodded. Good calculation. No wonder you're thinking of ways to make money like crazy. It's all for the sake of collecting grains. In the end, it's all for the sake of your family's 100 households reward. I'm impressed. But Comrade Zhang Xiaobao, what's in it for my family? This. Listen to me. This needs to be done. When the time comes, your family will benefit a lot. Come with me. I'll teach you what to say and what to do. Of course, this is not a lie. There should be a reward for doing good deeds. What's the saying? It's not asking for anything in return for doing good deeds. If that's the case, there will be fewer people doing good deeds. If someone really does ask for something in return, others will criticize him. So we have to leave a way out for others. Zhang Xiaobao spoke eloquently. Wang Wan curled her lips. Isn't it the story of Confucius? I don't know if there's such a thing. It's just an excuse for yourself to get benefits. I'll believe you this time. And don't tell anyone else, especially my father. If he knows that I'm selling grains at a high price, he might ask me to donate the grains. I don't want to lose money. Zhang Xiaobao looked around like a thief, even though he and Wang Wan were using lip language. Look at how scared you are. You really have a guilty conscience. You know that what you're doing is wrong. But I still support you. Why should we give our things to others for free? They're all obtained through hard work. Wang Wan leaned on Zhang Xiaobao with a smile. Zhang Xiaobao's actions just now were too interesting. The two of them discussed for a while, and finally decided on this matter. Then, they found Song Jinggong and started to arrange other things like selling the soybean oil. Little young master, how much should we sell the soybean oil? I'm afraid that others won't buy it. Song Jinggong was a little uncertain when he heard this, especially since he didn't want to be cheated. Of course, no one will buy it if we sell it directly. Go to Sanshui County and set up a stall. Mix the dough and then fry it and sell it to others. When others have eaten it, the taste will be different. They will ask you. Or you can find someone to ask deliberately. Do you understand? Zhang Xiaobao guided him a little and Song Jinggong immediately understood. Got it. I'll say it's the oil. Chapter 49. The leaves had all fallen, and the fragrant grass was gone without a trace. The pine and cypress were as green as ever. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had already put on new clothes. Xiao Hong had nothing to do, so she got up early to catch up with the ducks and geese hatched by cherries, and headed to her own pond. The servant next to her was replaced by the less busy pomegranate. Song Jinggong was addicted to selling soybean oil, and only came back to report a few days ago. Danielle was still in charge of selling soy sauce and carrots. Wang Wan was carrying 2 small sandbags in her hands. She gently swung them as she chatted with Zhang Xiaobao. It looks like winter is coming. When it snows, what can we do to make money in winter? I don't know. Anyway, there's a Kong in the village, so we don't have to worry about the cold. Zhang Xiaobao was also carrying 2 sandbags. I'm actually worried about your family's zhuangzi. This year there's a lot of food everywhere during the autumn harvest, so there's bound to be people thinking about this place. Wang Wan threw the sandbags far away. She was distracted and almost tripped over. Zhang Xiaobao was careful. The sandbags he threw were farther away than Wang Wan's. He trotted over and picked them up. He hesitated and said, "Don't be afraid. There's a way to deal with the people coming this year." Because they were wearing a lot of clothes, the two of them only played for an hour before sweating profusely. Shirlu had already prepared hot water. Seeing that the sky was gradually darkening, she advised them, Little master, little miss, it's windy outside. Why don't we play in the house? The two responded, and turned around to go back with Pomegranate. At this time, Song Jinggong, who had just returned yesterday, rushed into the courtyard. When he saw Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, his calm face revealed a worried expression. Zijin, you're in such a hurry. Did something good happen? Zhang Xiaobao heard the footsteps and looked back. When he saw Song Jinggong, he asked with a smile. My little ancestor, what good news? Something big has happened. Little young master, the business over there can't be done. Song Jinggong saw that the little young master was still in the mood to joke, and his expression became more bitter. Wang Wan chimed in. Is there anything young Master Song can't do? Back then, you deceived many people. Why can't you deal with it today? My little ancestor, this time is different from the past. I can't lie to you. Someone in Sanshui County said that something happened after eating the soybean oil sold by Zhuangzi Zhang. They called a doctor to check on him, and said that he was poisoned. It's not easy to do business anymore. Song Jinggong had a dejected look on his face, as he recounted what had happened in detail. Yesterday, when Song Jinggong returned to Sanshui County, he sold both soybean oil and tofu. He could buy them with money, or exchange them with other things, especially soybeans. 1 caddy of soybeans could be exchanged for 2 caddies of tofu. He did this so that no one would know that soybean oil was made from soybeans. That night, when Song Jinggong was about to ask someone to pack up the stall, a group of people came. Song Jinggong knew them. These people were idle and never did anything good. At first, he thought that they were here to force him to pay. When they came closer, he knew that they were here to buy soybean oil, a total of 20 caddies. At that time, Song Jinggong didn't think much about it and sold it to them. Who knew that as soon as he came out of the mindful residence this morning, those people came to the door, followed by a doctor who testified. They said that they bought oil last night, and when they went back, one of them was sick. The few of them even carried the sick person in front of the stall as a witness. Song Jinggong knew that he was being blackmailed at that time. When he saw the people around him looking at him, he explained. Who knew that the doctor insisted that the person lying there fell sick after eating the soybean oil sold by the stall. His words were so convincing that people had no choice but to believe it. Those people didn't say any threatening words. They just wanted Song Jinggong to take out 50 taels of silver. The people around didn't know who to believe. Listening to the words of those people, it seemed that they wanted more money. But since they fell sick from eating the soybean oil, and there was a doctor as a witness, they hesitated for a moment. When Song Jinggong saw this, he knew that he couldn't do business anymore. He hastily packed up the stall and ordered people to send the items back to the mindful house. He told those people to come back the next day, and then hurried back to Zhuangzi. Oh, so that's how it is. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan nodded at the same time, but they didn't show any embarrassed expression. For the purpose of illegal sexual activity, the use of threats or blackmail against the victim to forcibly ask for public or private property. It's for extortion and blackmail. Xiaobao, it's up to you. Wang Wan opened her mouth and said a series of words. She turned her head and looked at Zhang Xiaobao, meaning that she wanted to see how Zhang Xiaobao would deal with it in the future. Zhang Xiaobao pursed his lips, as if he didn't want to deal with this matter. He sighed. It seems that I have to spend money again. Little master, are you going to give them money? When Song Jinggong heard Zhang Xiaobao's words, he thought that Zhang Xiaobao would choose to give them money. He advised, Little master, you can't give them money. If you give them money today, they will come back tomorrow. Besides, there are other ruffians in Sanshui County. When they see that there is profit, they will take turns to go to the paralyzed people. Who said that I'm going to give them money? It's not easy for me to earn money. If I want to spend it, I have to spend it on something useful. When you go back today, find out who is in those ruffians' families. Then use your high scholar status to see the county magistrate of Sanshui County. Bring along the 100 taels of silver, my Zhuangzi's chili sauce, and the soybean oil you sell. Zhang Xiaobao naturally wouldn't give people money for free. He thought about how Tuqiao village was under Sanshui County's management, and could still use it next year. It was better to give them money first than to use it now. Song Jinggong didn't know about this. When he heard the 100 taels of silver, he couldn't help but tremble. He swallowed his saliva and said, "Little master, those ruffians won't really ask for 50 taels. If they can extort 10 or 8 taels, they will be satisfied. 100 taels? Isn't that more? If you give me 20 taels, I can get the county magistrate to help me." Song Jinggong wasn't wrong. 100 taels of silver was too much. Usually, for small matters, they only need to give 10 or 5 taels of silver, and the county magistrate will be flexible. Without waiting for Zhang Xiaobao to speak, Wang Wan opened her mouth and said, "Little Master Song, do as Xiaobao says. Give them money to show their attitude. Let those ruffians know and give them a warning." "What's a warning?" Song Jinggong really didn't understand. Although he had cheated many people before, he didn't understand. Let him know that 100 taels of silver can be used to find him for a small matter. It can also be sent to his superior to find his fault. If it weren't for the fact that we don't have much money, and have changed all of it into food, we can directly give him 200 taels of silver. It will be useful next year. Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao had a tacit understanding. She knew what Zhang Xiaobao was thinking about, and how to deal with people. Song Jinggong thought for a while and finally understood. He nodded and said, "Little Master and Little Miss are still the best. I will do it now." After talking, Song Jinggong was anxious about the matter, and left in a hurry. Pomegranate and the other two continued to walk into the house. "Little Master," when Little Master Song came and said something, "I was scared and didn't know what to do. I didn't expect you to solve it so easily. Little Master seems to be not afraid of this kind of thing at all." While Shirlu bathed the two of them, she exclaimed in admiration, "Pomegranate, you have to remember that Xiaobao is not afraid of this kind of thing. This kind of thing may not be easily solved. It's best that the county magistrate doesn't dare to do anything and takes our money. It will be easier to find him to do things in the future." Wang Wan didn't care about this kind of thing. Such a small trick, if it was used on Zhang Xiaobao, he wouldn't even bother to do it. Zhang Xiaobao also echoed and said, "Indeed, I still hope that those people have a higher status. At least there is a powerful person in their family. When they really want to do things, they are not afraid of spending money. They are only afraid that there is no place to send money." Little Master and Little Miss are talking about profound things. Pomegranate doesn't understand at all. Pomegranate listened to the two little masters, and felt that she was very stupid. "Pomegranate, don't be sad. Listen more and see more in the future, and you will know. You did very well in the things that I asked you to do." Wang Wan was afraid that Pomegranate would lose confidence, and quickly comforted her. Song Jinggong left the manor and hurried back. When it was evening, he finally returned to Sanshui County. He took out some silver from the caretaker's inn, and bought some bean oil and chili sauce. Without any delay, he went straight to the county yamen. Song Jinggong had met the county magistrate twice. He gave the gatekeeper a few copper coins. After the gatekeeper reported, the gatekeeper said that the county magistrate was inviting him in, and let him in. After walking through 2 doors, he came to the study. Song Jinggong directly bowed and said, "Student Song Jinggong greets the county magistrate. You don't have to be so polite. Please take a seat. I heard that Song Jinggong has done a few good deeds for the people of Sanshui County. I have long wanted to meet Song Jinggong, but unfortunately, I have been busy with the county affairs and couldn't find the time. Today, Song Jinggong has fulfilled one of my wishes." The county magistrate Cheng Lingxiang was only able to meet Song Jinggong because of his scholarly achievements, so he also started to be polite. "County magistrate, I am really flattered to be remembered by you. Student Zijin will definitely follow your instructions in the future, and work for the people wholeheartedly. I came in a hurry and didn't prepare anything decent. I only have some vegetable oil and chili sauce. It's too shabby." Song Jinggong didn't pass the things to others, and directly brought them to the study. He said respectfully as he slowly placed the big bag on the table. The oil and chili sauce were mostly packed in jars, and there was a slight sound coming from them. However, there were 10 ingots and 10 taels of silver. It wasn't easy to get such a large amount of silver. When County Magistrate Cheng Lingxiang heard this, his eyes lit up and signaled for Song Jinggong to drink some tea. He seemed to feel that the bag was a bit of a hindrance and used his hand to push it to the side. As he was pushing, his hand grabbed the place where the money was. When he grabbed it, Cheng Lingxiang's expression changed. He roughly estimated how much money it was. So much money? What was Song Jinggong trying to do? Could it be that he killed someone and wanted him to change his sentence? This was difficult to handle. However, since the reason was so big, he could think of a solution. Good, I have heard about this chili sauce long ago. It's a good opportunity to taste it. Zijin is so thoughtful. What has Zijin been busy with recently? Cheng Lingxiang began to think about how to deal with this matter. Replying to Sir, I feel that I have no hope of taking the exam again. A few days ago, I found a good zhuangzi and worked as an assistant. This oil and chili sauce was made by that zhuangzi. Who knew? Sai, let's not talk about it. Today, I am here to visit Sir. As Song Jinggong spoke, he had a relaxed expression on his face, but as he sighed, his expression turned into one of dejection. Today there are 2 more chapters. In the next week, there will be 3 chapters a day. I urgently need to collect and recommend. Thank you. Chapter 50. Of course, Cheng Lingxiang didn't think that Song Jinggong didn't want to say anything. He was just waiting for him to ask. Since he had the money, he would ask. Zijin, you are treating me like an outsider. Is there something you are unhappy about? Tell us so that we can discuss it together. It's better than you keeping it in your heart. Since Milord has asked, this student will naturally obey. It's all because this vegetable oil has been selling well these past few days. But in the end, it attracted trouble. This morning, a few hooligans actually came to my oil stall and said that someone had been poisoned by it. They even found a doctor to testify. I have never encountered such a situation. Those people wanted me to take out 50 taels of silver. I am their advisor. Where can I find 50 taels of silver? I am really helpless. If I don't give them the money tomorrow, those people might drag me to see the officials. I sold quite a lot of vegetable oil these few days. Also, the fried food in the morning was made with this oil. If it was really poisonous, why was it that only one person was poisoned and the others were fine? I am really speechless. Song Jinggong shook his head and sighed as he spoke. It really looked like that was the case. Cheng Lingxiang looked at the money on the table. The money there was more than what they asked for. No money. If you don't have money, why did you send it to me? Luckily, it wasn't a big matter. It was just a bunch of hooligans who wanted to extort some money. He didn't expect Song Jinggong to have such a bad temper. He would rather give me more money than those hooligans. Well, at least I got some benefits. It's just that the money was too much. Could it be that he wanted me to throw those people into jail? Then sentence them to a serious crime? I still have to ask. How preposterous. Zijin, don't worry. I will make the decision for you. You will write a complaint today and send it up tomorrow morning. I will teach those people a lesson. You don't have to be so angry. The people of Sanshui County are peaceful under your rule. Only those who don't know their place would dare to do such a thing. There is no need to punish them. I hope you can help me persuade them. Under your rule, I don't think there will be such unreasonable people. Song Jinggong took a step back in order to advance. He praised and ridiculed the county magistrate. It was all up to the county magistrate. Zijin is right. In that case, I'll send someone to bring those people over tomorrow to correct Zijin's reputation. Zijin, you don't have to worry. Oh, it's already late. I think Zijin hasn't eaten yet. Why don't you have a bite here? The county magistrate, Cheng Lingxiang of course, understood that he had to do something about this matter. Fortunately, the other party did not push him too hard. It seemed that he would have to help the other party in the future. Otherwise, it would be troublesome to take so much money. Thank you, sir. Dinner has been prepared at home, and there are people waiting for this student to return. It is inconvenient for me to disturb you. Sir is busy, so please take care of your health. This student will take his leave now. When Song Jinggong saw that things were almost done, and that the other party was beginning to send him off, He stood up and bowed again, before respectfully turning around to leave. Behind him, he heard a voice saying, "Send young Master Song off on my behalf." Early the next morning, the county magistrate Cheng Lingxiang found someone to ask about this matter. In the end, his subordinates all knew about it and told him about it. Cheng Lingxiang suddenly felt a headache. Why did he have to meet this wastrel? If it was someone else, it would be easy to handle. He could only order someone to find Song Jinggong and have a good discussion. Song Jinggong heard the call and hurried over. When he saw the county magistrate, he knew that the matter was difficult to handle. Before he could say anything, Cheng Lingxiang spoke first. "Zijin, yesterday I already knew that the leader was the state's minister of war, Zhou Qiong's nephew, Zhou Shihu. Today, I will look for him to ask. If there is really 50 taels of silver missing, I will give it to him. If not, Zijin, you have to make another plan." Cheng Lingxiang indeed did not have any other ideas. If there was really money, he could just give half of the money to the other party. However, he was afraid that the other party was after something else. If that was the case, it was not something that could be settled with 50 taels of silver. When Song Jinggong heard this, he also knew that he was in trouble. The provincial treasurer Song Consigliere was the provincial treasurer Song Consigliere. He was in charge of taxation and storage, and even the county magistrate didn't dare to offend him. It seemed that he really had to think of another way after asking clearly. Therefore he said, "Lord, for telling Zijin the truth, Zijin is very grateful. Zijin will go back and wait for news. If that Zhou Shihu is only asking for 50 taels of silver, Zijin will definitely give it to him. If Zijin will need to go back to Zhuangzi to discuss. I hope that Lord can help delay it for one day. At most one day, there will definitely be a result." "Oh, there will be a solution in one day? Zijin, don't worry. There is no need to be anxious. It is still possible to entrust 3 to 5 people. After all, one day is too short. Zijin will only need time to go and come back." Cheng Lingxiang thought that Song Jinggong had become muddle-headed. After taking the money, he naturally had to help more. "There is no need. There will be a way when Zijin returns to the village. You can come back directly. One day is enough," Song Jinggong said firmly. "Since that is the case, then Zijin should go back and wait. After I ask Zhou Shihu, I will have someone inform Zijin." I see that Zijin is so sure. Could it be that there is an expert in Zhuangzi? Cheng Lingxiang saw that Song Jinggong's eyes were clear, and was curious. When Song Jinggong thought about how he had lost, and how he had earned money, a trace of respect appeared on his face. He nodded. "That is correct. This matter is extremely difficult for a student. To that person, it is not worth thinking about. When that person does not move, he is like a gentle breeze. When he moves, he is like a violent storm. I was fortunate enough to experience it once. Thus I went there to be an advisor." County Magistrate Cheng Lingxiang knew that Song Jinggong had deceived many people before. He did not expect that there would be a time when he lost. This made him feel that it was even more interesting. He asked, "Could it be that Zijin is afraid of that person?" "Afraid, really afraid. Just once, I did not even have the chance to make a comeback. Later on, that person let me go. Otherwise, I would be in the county jail right now. There is also a person beside that person. When these two people are together, it is like a combination of a zither and a flute. There is no one else who can compare to them." Song Jinggong thought about the young master and Kukuan Zhuangzi. A trace of a smile appeared on his face. There was even a trace of pride. "If that is the case, then Zijin should go back first. I will do it as soon as possible." Cheng Lingxiang saw that Song Jinggong had described the two people as if they were gods. He did not believe him at all. He could use this matter to ask. He already had a thought in his mind. Zhou Shihu would not lack that bit of money. He definitely had a bigger plan. He wanted to see what the person on Zhuangzi would do. Song Jinggong agreed and went back to wait. Cheng Lingxiang quickly ordered someone to find Zhou Shihu and ask him face to face. Zhou Shihu did not evade and directly said what he wanted. He wanted to get the recipe for the vegetable oil. He had eaten that oil before. These days he had been eating vegetable oil every meal. The taste was better than other oils. Even if it was used to light a lamp, the smoke would be small. Seeing that this was his intention, Cheng Lingxiang did not say much. He told someone to tell Song Jinggong about this matter. As for what to do, it would depend on the person Song Jinggong mentioned. Once Song Jinggong received the news, he hired a carriage and rushed back. When he entered the courtyard, he did not even drink his saliva. He just looked at the young master and waited. Just as he thought, when the young master and young lady heard this news, they were not worried at all. Not only were they not worried, but they also smiled. "Young master, do you have a countermeasure?" Song Jinggong saw that the young master and young lady were not worried, so he also relaxed. "Xiaobao, you guessed right again. This is good. We will eat candied haws during the new year." Wang Wan said to Zhang Xiaobao with a smile. Zhang Xiaobao also pretended to be reserved and nodded. Let Pomegranate take out the thing and give it to Zijin. Zijin, I will tell you what to do." After letting Pomegranate take out the thing and give it to Song Jinggong, Zhang Xiaobao said to Song Jinggong. Song Jinggong's eyes lit up and he nodded. "Young master, don't worry. I will definitely do it well. So it is like this. There is no time to lose. I will leave now." Song Jinggong promised and took the clear soup that Pomegranate prepared for him. He turned around and left. He let the carriage drive and rushed to Sanshui County. When Song Jinggong arrived, it was already evening. This time, Song Jinggong still did not rest and came to the yamen. When he saw the county magistrate, he asked, "Sir, I am back. Please help me be the middleman. It is dinner time, and I want to invite Zhou Shihu to have dinner at Waterview Restaurant." Cheng Lingxiang saw Song Jinggong's happy expression and was shocked. Could it be that there was really a solution? According to the time that Song Jinggong took to come and go, he had just returned, and someone had already thought of a solution. How was this possible? "Zijin, you have an idea?" The expert over there heard your words and thought of a solution in a short time? Cheng Lingxiang asked expectantly. "No. As soon as I entered the courtyard and finished explaining the matter, that person gave me the things that he had prepared beforehand, and gave me a few instructions. I didn't dare to delay, and came back immediately. They seemed to have known about it for a long time." Song Jinggong was so excited that his whole body trembled when he thought of the situation when he returned. The young master was really too scary. Today, he finally saw what it meant to have a perfect plan. Zhuge Sheng was just like that. Cheng Lingxiang was also shocked. It seemed that there was really an expert in Zhuangzi. He did not hesitate and sent someone to invite Zhou Shihu, while he brought Song Jinggong to Waterview Restaurant. They did not even take the carriage, and asked as they walked, "Zijin, can you tell me what idea that person came up with? I am very curious." Song Jinggong did not say it directly this time. He smiled apologetically. "Sir, please forgive me for not being able to tell you now. When Zhou Shihu arrives, everything will naturally become clear." "Oh, in that case, let's wait for a while. I heard that the dishes in Waterview Restaurant were also prepared by your Zhuangzi. What does it have to do with that expert?" Seeing that Song Jinggong did not say anything, Cheng Lingxiang did not force him. He would find out later anyway. Thinking of the new dishes in Waterview Restaurant, he casually asked, "Sir, your eyes are indeed as sharp as a torch. The vegetable oil chili sauce, and those dishes were all made by that person." Song Jinggong and the county magistrate arrived at Waterview Restaurant while talking. Zhou Shihu had already arrived and asked for a single room. When he saw Song Jinggong, he said, "What? Young Master Song, have you thought it through?" You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.